What is up, everyone, and welcome to a beautiful Sunday evening, wherever you are, on the East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, I don't care where you are. Welcome to Sunday evening with the gang here, as usual. Nickel City Mafia, Red, White, and Bills, and the Go Bills podcast. I think this is our fourth installment around draft. Actually, this is just our second mock draft that we're doing. We're going to do an actual full 7 round mock draft. Each of us on the panel, we're going to play GM and we're in charge. And we're going to go with our own strategies. I haven't talked to any of the other guys. Don't have a clue what they're going to go with. I know what I'm going to go with. And I get to go first tonight, which I'm excited. Usually I wait to the end, and I had to ask the guys to let me go first. And they were like, yeah, sure, Mike, let's give you a shot this time. So before we get into it, I'm going to throw it to Jake to talk about some of the free agent news that had come out of One Bills Drive this past week. Talk to us, Jake.
Yeah, what appeared to have been one of the crazier free agency periods in recent memory. Across the league, you got a lot of quarterbacks switching teams. Jimmy G's a Raider, Derek Carr's a Saint. You got a bunch of other guys signing elsewhere. Orlando Brown to the Bengals, and a bunch of other guys. Bills a little bit quieter. They brought back some of their own, with the biggest news being Jordan Poyer, obviously, which is huge. I love that contract, 2 years, $12.5 million, only $7 million guaranteed. So I think that is an absolute steal. How often do you see a first-team All-Pro go and get a low-end contract like that? Still a top-5 player at that position. So absolutely love that move. I think a lot of the other moves that you look at are a little more underwhelming, which Brandon Beane alluded to. But I think when you see all these restructured contracts happening and, us creating cap room, you think maybe something's going to happen that's going to be more of a splash signing or a trade or something along those lines. But really, we leave the free agency period with our biggest name signing maybe being Connor McGovern. So a lot of people thought it was the other Connor McGovern from the Jets. They didn't even know there was a Connor McGovern that played for the Cowboys. So I think people are very underwhelmed, as I know you guys are. So just looking at it, I mean, we'll go through the list here. So Connor McGovern, as I mentioned, guard from the Cowboys. Deontay Hardy, which was a very, I guess, more of a head-scratching move, if you will. He used to be named Deontay Harris, changed his name in 2021 to Deontay Hardy. He was a guy that came into the league and kind of exploded. He was a really good return guy, short, 5'6", a $170, maybe soaking wet, fast as hell, but basically a human joystick on the field. And the Saints did incorporate him a little bit more into the offense, especially in 2021. He never really had a quarterback that could throw to him. He came into the league when it was Drew Brees' back years, pretty much the last ride for Drew Brees. So didn't really have an elite quarterback per se. But I think when you look at it, productivity wise, it's not really anything to clap your hands about, not to be super excited about or anything like that. But I think it made sense, obviously, in the fact that we released Isaiah McKenzie. So he's essentially going to be replacing Isaiah McKenzie. He's younger. Not sure if he's better, though. I don't know if it's an upgrade at the position. I hope it is. I think really what it comes down to is utilizing a guy like that in the offense, because if you go out there, you sign this guy, you probably pay him more than you should. You better damn well use him. That's been an issue, I think, in the past with just some of our gadget players and just not utilizing them the right way. So we'll see what happens with that one. I know, Sean, you're just super fired up to talk about that one with Deontay Hardy. So I want to at least let you get some thoughts out about that first.
Yeah, I mean, the way we paid him, he has to be he's a guaranteed lock on the roster, and you got to play him, because if you're paying him that much money just to return kicks, why did we go get Hines and waste a 5th-round pick and a player? And, it's just, we always scratch our head and we wonder, are we bad at evaluating players or are we bad at developing players? And, when you look at who was out there, you could have got Jamal Williams, who had 18 touchdowns for basically the same contract, but with one more year on top of it. He signed a 3-year, $13 million deal with the Saints. So you see moves like that, and we're like, and we went with Hardy. Again, he's probably a great person, but it wasn't a move that was really necessary. I mean, you could have used that money towards something else even. I don't know what. There's many things you could have probably used. but of all the things, it's like, really? And then you start to wonder, it's like, okay, he's another guy that's below 5'8". I mean, when are we going to stop this getting small guy? Before we released McKenzie, you had McKenzie, Cole Beasley, Shakir, and Hardy, all under 5'8", all play slot receiver. So it's like what's the need for all of that? Like, it's definitely not a need for the team. It doesn't make sense. You had Hines as a return guy. Are we going to use Hines in the offense? Are we not going to go running back now? Are we going to stick with Cook and Hines and let them be a running back tandem and then Hardy in the return slot? I don't know. Again, he's had 4 total touchdowns in his whole career. I know he was injured last year. His best season as a receiver, albeit he was with Drew Brees near the tail end of his career, but was 570 receiving yards. I mean, is he going to come in and be a game changer? Probably not. But that's what the Buffalo Bills need, is game changers. And just out of all the people we signed, I mean, Connor McGovern, he's definitely got potential. But like I said, my best friend was a Cowboys fan. He's not just going to tell me stuff just because he wants to. He's going to be honest with me. He said McGovern was the worst offensive lineman on our team. He's not terrible, but with the Cowboys with offensive line, if they think you're good enough, they'll make sure you stay.
Yeah.
They let Lyle Collins go. Lyle Collins dropped off, terrible season, and blew out his knee, and then now they're letting McGovern go. And, we may have overpaid for him, but he's immediately an upgrade. So that's a good thing. And then you start to wonder, Dawkins had an off year last year. Maybe with McGovern, who's leaps and bounds better than Saffold, might make Dawkins play better. And then your left side, Josh Allen's blind side, is now back to being protected. And then you still got to worry about center, right guard, and right tackle. But I think the McGovern signing as of right now is an overpay, but has the potential. He's 25 years old, and he's, he was injured a little bit last year. He has the potential to be great. So as of right now, I can't give that a great signing, but it's definitely got potential. But I mean, Kyle Allen, you want a guy, your back quarterback is a very important position. And we picked up a guy because Josh Allen's his friend. I know that's not what people think is really the reason, but I guarantee you Josh was like, oh, I like this guy. Pick him up. I like Ken Dorsey. Make him the offensive coordinator. So now you have a guy like Kyle Allen, who's probably a really good guy and a really good friend, but I trust Case Keenum more than I would trust Kyle Allen to go in games and win a game with our team. So again, I don't think that was a great signing either. And then, I mean, the Jordan Poyer one, like you said, Jake, a great face value contract. But, as Mike alluded to earlier, now that he's not playing for a contract anymore, is he going to be playing 150%? Is he going to play through this little bit of injury? Is he going to be the same player that he was last year? That we don't know. And, it's just a lot of – it was what we expected. And it goes back to what we've been mentioning is we're in cap hell. So, yeah, we freed up like $40 million, but we only were able to use like 6 of it because we're making up, and now we got to pay rookies and the practice squad and all this stuff. Right. So we're freeing up space for really just keeping our heads afloat. And, people that live paycheck to paycheck, what I'm talking about, me included. Like, okay, I got to make sure I pay this, and this. And now my paycheck comes and I'm just over here now, have enough to get groceries, and then we're fine. So it's like that's kind of where we're at as an organization now, and it's just what we're gonna have to deal with for the next year or two probably. I know I rambled on a little bit, but
yeah, it just feels like we're signing based on potential, which isn't a bad thing, but it better damn well come true because I feel like we paid pretty good amount of money to both Connor McGovern and Deontay Hardy in hopes that they are going to turn into something more than what they have been. When you do have guys that are on the board that we could have potentially signed, guys like Adam Thielen, we could have brought him in as a receiver. He signed with Carolina today. I don't know what the numbers are on that, but I'm sure, it's probably not a ton of money per year per se, but maybe invest a little bit more money and you get a proven veteran, pair him back with Stephon Diggs. Obviously it's not going to happen. But it's just something kind of, you think of the other guys that are out there and we go with the younger guy that has the potential, which isn't always a bad thing. But like I said, it just seems like in the past, when we based our signings off of that, it's kind of been more miss than hit. So I don't know. Brett, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think even with the signing of Deontay Hardy, you could have potentially went after even Brandon Cooks, who his contract, yes, it was really high, but the Texans are going to pay $6 million of that contract. You can have $12 million for the Bills to get, which yes, that's a high salary for him, but it could be where you're utilizing a 5th and a 6th round pick, or even a 4th round pick for a guy that's been proven in the NFL. And I think Buffalo they're swinging for something and hoping that they're going to get something, but the risk is very high and the reward could be really high too. But I mean, if I'm a GM in this situation, I would go after guys that are proven rather than guys that may not make the team as a starter even, because I think Shakir is better than Hardy right now.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I agree with all you guys. I don't want to hear the word potential in a Super Bowl window. I don't want to hear potential.
Yeah.
I need guys that are proven to get the job done during our Super Bowl window, which I believe we're still in. It's fading fast, but we're still in it. And I totally agree with you, Jake. Take that money you spent on Harris and McGovern, bundle it up, and get somebody more proven. That's the only thing I have to say on that. I am happy about Poyer coming back. So,
Mike, think about this, though. If Buffalo would have went after Brandon Cooks, he's already played in the Super Bowl. So that's another person on the Bills that has played in the Super Bowl, who's been there. He's proven. He's done it all. Deontay Harris, I don't believe he has played in the Super Bowl.
No.
But he's somebody that was the number 1 receiver in the past as well. So you could bring him in. He could be a potential number 2 for Gabe Davis, who could potentially be leaving next year. I know the money is really high, but hey, we've been paying our defense. We've been paying the defensive line way too much, and we're not getting the production that we need. So now we have to put it towards the offense in order to get more points on the board, and we could make a real deep run in the playoffs this year, and you could have 3 good wide receivers. You could potentially trade Gabe Davis in the future too, and you can get something out of him. It's a move that I think would fit Buffalo very well, and it's a move that reminds me so much of what the Tampa Bay Rays would do, where if there's a guy with potential that's on a contract that makes sense, you can move another salary in order to gain more picks. And that's what I see in Gabe Davis. You could potentially move him to a team like the Giants, or you could potentially move him to a team that needs a wide receiver in the near future. Even trading him to the Texans, we could have gotten maybe a 2nd round pick out of him.
Yeah.
But Buffalo didn't want to do that. I think they should have.
A 5th and a 6th rounder, man. I would have done it. He's only 29 years old. I know he had a down year last year, but he could still take the top off you. I mean, he's still fast. He's still a proven receiver, very consistent. He's had 1,000 yards with like 4 different teams. I mean, the
how many
guy's
different
proven.
quarterbacks too?
And crazy amount of different quarterbacks.
It's a 5th round this year and a 6th round next year. So I easily would have did that.
You could have flipped it and done a 6th in this year and a 5th next year.
Yeah, either way. And, I saw it was on YouTube short. I think it was the Eagles podcast. They're talking about Devonta Smith and AJ Brown. And the guy mentioned no team has 2 wide receivers making $20 million each. So we got Diggs making $27 million a year for the next 5 years, or whatever it is, 3 or 4. And unless Gabe Davis certainly isn't worth over $20 million.
No.
Let's just put that out there now. Right. But he's probably going to want that. So if he demands if he said, I want at least $20 million, he'll be gone, because I think next year is his contract year. Yeah. So he'll be gone, because it just doesn't it's not business smart to have 2 wide receivers making over $20 million, your quarterback making $40 million, your defensive end making $30 million. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. So,
yeah,
I mean, unless they sign him in the offseason, before anything, I don't know. But if he wants a big contract, he's probably not going to get it with us. So
yeah, I mean, Allen Lazard just got 4 for $44 million, and I mean, they're comparable, I guess, right? But
yeah, I'm just like Mike said, I'm sick of it goes back to the Spencer Brown thing. We're literally not going to focus on right tackle because I have faith in Spencer Brown, Like, okay, but here's my point of view, and you guys have heard it. If you want to win a Super Bowl and you've had this guy for 2 years now, and he hasn't proven to be even a top 20 or even a top 30 at his position, shouldn't you think I should probably try to replace this guy with somebody better so my team can win? Not just be like, well, he's a nice guy, I have faith in him, he can do it. No, we're going on year 3 now, and there's no way in heck that he's going to be a top 15 tackle this year. So now you wasted 3 years of that, and then where you could have had even someone else to be brought in. So we're going to ignore right tackle. We're probably going to ignore right guard now because Bean thinks, oh, I signed McGovern and we re-signed Ike Bacher, so offensive line is set. We're going to be good. We'll draft one late in the 6th round, and then we'll just put him on the practice squad, and then he'll get picked up by another team like midway through the season, like every other time. So that's another thing I don't like about the McGovern signing is it just more validates that Bean's going to ignore the offensive line in the draft, and more than we already thought he was going to. But it kind of puts a seal on it now because he's like, okay, we got Bates and Bucker. I have faith in Spencer Brown. So and Tommy Doyle's coming back. I got faith in Spencer Brown, so we're fine there. And they might get a replacement for Mitch, maybe. But I have a really bad feeling now about where they're going to go in the direction of the draft. And like I said, you can't be built on, oh, this guy's nice, and like McKenzie, he's a nice guy and great guy on your team, but he was never going to game change your team to win you a Super Bowl. And we kept him for years just because he was a nice guy.
I think the biggest thing is, Sean, I think there's players on this team that could potentially have big roles, and we're just not utilizing them like you're saying. And
Right.
For the offensive line, I think we just need a swing tackle, and I think we need a guard that can come in and they can solidify the position. So I think, Buffalo right now with the cap hit that we have right now, we can't do that. But I think we could potentially get pieces in place that could make a run. And I think there's ways in the draft that we could do it, but I think that Bean is kind of keeping his mouth a little quiet, trying to get those guys.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think it's all going to be about the draft this year. And Brett, all good points, but I heard you say the word potentially 10 or 11 times, and that's 10 or 11 more times than I want to
don't
hear
wanna
that
hear it.
word, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to
Mike,
hear it.
Pick up that phone, man, and call Brandon Bean.
I'll get him on the
Tell
line.
him to shut up about
he's,
potential.
he's going to watch our show right now, and he's going to learn something. So I
This
think
is it
that's
for him.
Yeah, right. I agree.
One more draft, one more season, and if it results in this, if it yields the same fruit as it did the last 2 years, Pagula's got to make a choice.
And I just want to also say, guys, don't forget we did get the cornerstone back of our special teams, and we got 2 cornerstone players in Slippery Sam Martin and Tyler Matakevich. So let's clap that one up too.
I thought you were
I
gonna
really
say
am
Sam
clapping
Martin.
that up. I love Sam Martin. I think that was a nice
That was a
signing.
great
It
one.
was.
Tyler Matakevich, good special teams player, sure. I don't know, but 2 cornerstone guys on special teams. I had to mention special teams because I love special teams. So there we go.
And you also have Tyrell Dodson, who came back too. That's another
Yeah.
depth.
Yeah,
piece
so
for the Bills.
that begs the question: is he going to be the official replacement for Tremaine Edmonds, or is he just a fill-in guy that is going to be able to be a plug-and-play dude, basically? Or if he's, I'm not really sure what the plan is with him. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens there.
He's another nice guy
Yeah,
with a lot of potential.
A lot of potential. All right, I try not to say potential. Let's try to see how many times we can keep that away from our mouths. But I mean,
love
let's get into some fun here, right?
do it.
All 4 of us, we're going to do a 7-round mock draft, and if we get stuck, I'm going to start. I'm the GM. I'm putting on my Brandon Bean cap right now. If I get stuck, I'll ask the panel. I've been working hard at this, and the problem for me is I have a plan. But I also have a sweet tooth. And if candy is dropped in front of me, is that going to change the direction that I go? I hope not. But that's one of my problems. I have a sweet tooth. If somebody's right there in front of me and it's like, that's not the position I was going for, we'll see what I do. So this is going to be fun, guys. Are you ready for it?
We're
By the
ready for
way,
it.
Big Al, good to see you out there. He says he's missing a little dirty. Yeah, we can talk about that.
He's a good guy,
a while.
Big Al.
Yeah, we met him, which makes it even harder. Talked to him, shook his hand. It was all good stuff. And Saint 7, best way to spend the Sunday night. Thank you, gentlemen. Welcome.
Hell yeah.
Welcome to the
Appreciate
channel.
you.
Yes.
you, man.
Absolutely.
And if this is your first time out here, please go seek out all our channels and drop a nickel on the subscribe button for all of us. But this
There you go,
game
Mike.
shows some potential. Love it. There we go.
Hey,
I'd
Nick,
say-
before you go, have you heard anything about Singletary getting any offers, or if he's potentially staying with Buffalo, or is it nobody sent him anything? I haven't heard one peep about if he's got an offer or anything.
I haven't heard
Yeah.
anything.
Not much.
I haven't heard anything. I just looked it up too because I had that question because part of my strategy, I was thinking if Singletary here, it helps the direction I'm going to go, but he's not signed as of yet. So that's a good sign, I guess, for us. Just like Poyer. So let me see here. Let's share some screen. Let's share a window here. Let's go here. Share this and let's get into it. Does that look good?
We're going to do 6 because we don't have a 7th, or we're just going to let it play through with 7.
We'll let it play through because you got to do it, and then it'll give us a score. We'll go to the end here. So let's get into it. If you're in the channel and you're listening, I would love to hear your comments. Who you think we should go after? Please, we love the interaction. We're going to try to keep this. We're going to see what the over is on our time tonight, but this should be a lot of fun. I've been waiting for this. We had to postpone it earlier in the week, but here we are now. So let's get into it. We're going to go 7 rounds. Buffalo Bills. Coach GM Mike Thornton / Bean is on the board. Here we go. Let's start
Don't
this
disrespect
draft.
yourself like that. You're better than that.
I hope to prove I'm better than that. Let's go.
Assistant GM who's going to take over.
That's right.
Brandon.
GM in waiting, Mike Thornton.
When Bean
Man.
retires.
By the way, Mike, happy belated St. Patty's Day. I know you're pretty Irish, so
Thank you.
heck yeah.
Same to you, sir. All right.
Ooh.
So no surprise for me here. I do see that I want to mention Bijan Robinson. Now the Buffalo Bills took him and Rashawn Johnson, teammates, out to dinner before I think the combine. Is that right, Jake?
Yeah.
And
Actually, I think it was their pro day. Yeah.
Pro
down in
day.
Texas.
All right.
Yep.
And I've been reading a lot that the Bills really want Bijan Robinson. Now, if they really want him, we're not doing trades in this draft. Maybe in our later mock drafts, we'll start doing some trades. But here, if the Bills really want him, I can see them making a move to go get him. I'll ask you guys after the draft to see what you would think about Bijan Robinson being taken. For me, we took a guy in the 2nd round last year, James Cook, and I think we can complement him. I think there are bigger needs than Bijan. Bijan is not the answer. If you don't have an O-line in front of Bijan, you're going to struggle.
Agreed.
So I am going to, this is an easy pick for me. Now, Anton Harrison, obviously he's the top tackle here, but there's 2 of them. And I think you got to go, I'm going tackle. Now, we talked about going guard early, and I'm going to bring up this, and I'm going to bring up our interior linemen here. Let's see the top ones. So Cyrus is out there. I mean, he's on this particular case, he's slipped a little bit. I don't know what's happened there. Maybe you guys did something happen, but because of the signing of McGovern, because we have Bates, who we're paying almost $5 million this year, I do not think the Bills would use Cyrus correctly if we did go after him. I think the bigger need, look, I watched some film today. I was reminiscing about the Bills when they played the Bengals, and I had some film, and Spencer Brown was complete garbage. And, I haven't given up on him completely, but you know what? I do not want him protecting the blind side of Josh Allen. So this is an easy one for me. Look, Anton Harrison, I think he's more of a swing tackle. I think he has more to learn. I'm going with the beast of a man right now, DeJuan Jones. That was your guy, Brett. I think this guy, look, he gave up, I think, 1 sack in his past 3 years. This is an easy pick. And look, if no one's going through him, no bull rusher is getting through this guy. Now, you might have a speed rusher who may be able to do something, but he's done a fantastic job. Plays at a big school, and I'm all for this guy. We need
Hey, he
a
fits
right
the bill
tackle.
too, Mike. We don't take right tackles anywhere under 6'8", so that fits the bill.
Chiefs got
that.
Torrens and the Bengals got Mayer. Wonderful.
Wow.
I had to make a choice there, so I'm going with the
No, I'm just-
tackle.
I
Yeah.
agree. I'm just
No,
saying.
it's a
like,
good move. That's a
could
good
you-
move, Mike.
Could you imagine if the Chiefs get Mayer and they got Mayer and Kelsey, and then when Kelsey retires and then Mayer picks up and be another best tight end in history, and then the Chiefs just get, oh man, it's gonna piss me
Baby
off.
Gronk. I like this.
All right, so my strategy's still playing out right here.
Looks great.
I want to continue with the offensive line. Now we know Mitch Morse is coming back. We know Mitch Morse has had 6 concussions, and I'm concerned. Yes, Bates could slide over. Then we would need someone to fill that guard position. I know we brought back Ike, but for me, I want to get that center for the future, and I want a center who can also play guard. The more I read about Whippler, he's more of a center. Like him sliding over to guard, it's not as easy as a Joe Tipman sliding over to guard. Tipman, I believe, is also pretty damn quick. I think he runs something like a 4.9 something.
Unbelievable athlete. He looks like
Right?
a tight end. He looks like a
Yeah,
tight end. out there,
unbelievable.
Mike.
He's 6'6". Don't let that scare you. Some people say 6'6", too big for a center. Well, guess what? Mitch Morse is 6'6". So I'm going to take Tipman, but just for kicks, I want to see if there's any candy out there right now. Let me bring in a wide receiver. Nathaniel Dell, look, he keeps popping up, and he's probably very, very good, but I'm shy. I'm gun shy right now from Houston. Wide receivers out of Houston. We had a guy on our team, Marquise Stevenson, who's no longer with the Bills. So I'm a little gun shy there. And I don't see, let me see if there's any running back candy out there right now that I'm really in love with. No, there is not. This is an easy one for me, guys. Let's get Mr. Joe Tippmann.
It's a good pick.
Good pick.
Yeah.
Hey, back to
Someone
back
really
Big
awesome
Ten
pick, though.
linemen too. That's
All right,
beautiful.
so now I feel good about our linemen. I'm not looking to go lineman any longer here with our next 4
That would be
picks.
ideal.
But
Joe Tippman, the best mullet in the game too.
I love it.
And look at
So
that, you
here-
guys. Tank Dell's still on the board there.
Tank Dell's there. So here's where I want to get, and I have a dilemma. I have a wide receiver that I really want. If I don't take him, I think he's going to be gone. You guys know who he is, Andre Osavas. I really love him. He's seems to have slid down the board, at least on PFF, but his combine was amazing. But let me bring up running backs and wide receivers here. Because, again, I'm all about the offense. I don't ever want to put up 10 points in a playoff game with a quarterback like Josh Allen at the helm. So let's see here. I know some of these guys we talked about. I know Dwayne McBride. He plays at a smaller school, but the numbers he put up was fantastic. I think we talked about Tank. We talked about Tank Bigsby, right?
Yep.
Deuce.
And the guy, I'll tell you who I'm really in love with as a running back is Rashawn Johnson. Why? He's big. I told you guys, I don't want anybody under 6 feet. I want somebody who can complement James Cook in the backfield, and this would be the guy. However, again, without knowing what's going on, we know we have Hines. We know we have Cook. We don't know who that third back's going to be. You're going to need one. So here's where I struggle. Johnson or my other guy who I hope is available. There he is, Andre Osavas. So for me, I know PFF's going to probably give me a horrible grade for some reason, but I want this guy. He's 6'3". He's over 200 pounds. Athleticism off the charts. His score in the combines was 7th amongst receivers in athleticism. He's a track star. He had a great Senior Bowl. He did well at the combines. Actually killed it at the combines. And so I struggle here. I will ask you guys. I know who I'm going to go with, but if I'm choosing between running back and wide receiver, guys, let me ask you, Sean, first. Which of those two are you taking?
Andre. Without a doubt. Without the shadow of a doubt.
Brett?
I mean, I'm just going to say one thing, Mike. Have you watched how Princeton's been playing some all sports? I
mention
mean,
it.
making the Sweet 16 in basketball, and then you paired this guy for the Bills. I mean, it could be a win here. So I'm going with Andre.
And then you, Jake?
So my big thing is here, it's a bit of a reach. I think, I know you don't want to take the risk of letting another round go by because there's a chance he's available in the 4th round. I totally understand your reasoning, Mike. He's off the charts athleticism. I mean, it's something that you really can't coach. And I think, it's worth taking a shot on. There's a lot of teams that have made bigger reaches in the past. So it's not out of the ordinary to do something like this. I think I'm with Andre as well. So I say roll with it, baby.
I've done about 15 mock drafts, maybe more, all week ever since it got canceled. I know what PFF's going to give me, but screw PFF.
That's right.
I'm going, and every time I didn't
Go with your
take
heart.
this, every time I didn't take this man, the Kansas City Chiefs ended up with him, and I just
Oh
can't.
no, we can't let
stand
that
that.
happen.
Don't let it
So,
happen.
Andre Osavas, welcome to the Buffalo Bills.
Beautiful. Look
Can
at
you
that.
imagine
Third
him,
round.
6'3", over 200 pounds? He's got a 39-inch vertical, guys. 39-inch, 6'3", 39-inch vertical. I talked about this when we had our skilled position show. And this guy, I know Sean was just crushed when Isaiah Hodgins left. He's about Isaiah Hodgins' size, but he's faster. He's
And
faster.
more athletic.
Yes.
Yep.
So, welcome to the Buffalo Bills, sir. PFF, screw you, man. I don't care if you give me an F. You know what an F stands for? Freaking fantastic. So, that's what
Mike-
I'm taking to this.
Mike, if we draft him, you buying his jersey?
Oh, heck yeah.
Oh, I love it. Yes.
Guaranteed.
F for first, not F for
F for first. Exactly.
Mike,
grade.
the Trek wants to know how he is at blocking.
Let's see here. I could bring him up in a little
I'd
bit.
say he's above average. I've watched a little tape on him. I like him. Bigger guy, not afraid to go out there and block on the outside. So, yeah.
That's a great
I mean,
point. That's a great point, Trek, because
It is.
having a wide receiver who can't block is essentially useless. So
Yep.
Yeah.
definitely got to love that. So
Let me tell
One
you
other
another
question.
reason. So, a couple of my guys that I'm targeting are on the Bruce Feldman's freak list. So, let me see. Again, one of the big things is Osavas. I already said he has a vertical jump of 39 inches. Pair that with his 6'3", 205-pound frame. I mean, my goodness, good luck trying to stop him from 50-50 balls.
fade routes in the corner of the end
odds.
zone?
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
baby.
in the
All
red
day.
zone, okay.
He's a,
One thing I
all-
will say, guys, is that when last year we had Jake Kumro come onto the field, and he was on the field for the plays that he was. We weren't using him as a pass catcher; we were using him as a blocker. And I think with Iosivas, bringing him in, I think you can utilize him both as a pass catcher as well as a blocker. And I think it just expands the offense that the Bills can run. So, Mike, that's a really good pick that you made there. So I think it would fill a hole too. So
Not as much of a tell when you have Andre Osavas playing at receiver as it is with Jake
Yeah.
Kumro. You know for a fact, 80% of the time it's probably going to be a run play if Jake Kumro's up.
exactly,
Yeah,
that's
can you
exactly
imagine-
what I was getting at, Jay.
Yeah.
It's
Can you
important to
imagine-
get it's
Yeah.
important to get another good guy because you have to offset Jake Kumro's roster spot. Basically, he's not even a wide receiver, so you have to we want to keep 6 now for some reason. So you need at least 4 solid, reliable wide receivers now because Kumro's good at blocking, but he's not really a great wide receiver, and that's not why he's on the team. So I like the pick, Mike. I think he could be an awesome fit, and it may seem like a reach now, but imagine him as a number 2 or 3 receiver. That's what you have to think about too. He's not going to be a number 1, and a 6'3" guy on a third string corner who's off the charts athletic. That might be insanely good mismatch for us. So I would take that.
Yep.
I do want to talk about this comment real quick. Jake Bobo. I love that. I think he's absolutely worthy of maybe a late, probably 6th or 7th rounder, realistically. But if you can't get Andre Osavas, this is a guy, another good option. Played at UCLA, big dude. I think he's 6'5", like 215. It would be a really nice selection in the later rounds as well. Jake Bobo, love that kid a lot, and I think he tested pretty well for the most part. So not too bad. So yeah, it would be an awesome pick.
Yeah, I did see Bobo, and again, if I wasn't able to get a tall receiver, because that's what I'm looking for, he was on my list for that late round, and he'd be there in the 6th round for sure. But I had to make that decision. I can see, I was looking for, did Rashawn Johnson fall, and he didn't. Somebody took him. Let me see who took him. If I can find it real quick. There he is, taken by Washington. So that was a tough choice. I had done enough mock drafts to know that one of them wasn't going to be available here. So I'm going with the receiver. Now I'm going to have another shocker for you here. 4th round. Again, I'm going offense. I'm going big. I'm going with a guy who has a 40-inch vertical, also on the Bruce Feldman list. He's 6'8", 245, and he runs like a 4.5. Zach Kuntz. Again, I'm picking these guys from these smaller schools, and I'm not going to use that word, that potential word. I'm not, because I do believe. Can you imagine? Again, red zone, 6'8", 40-inch vertical. Who the hell's going to guard this guy?
Yeah.
Tell me, please, who's going to guard this guy?
Basically,
Nobody.
just throw it up.
Just go to the
Throw it
end
high.
zone. This is like, when we were kids at the playground, you take your big friend who had that growth spurt, who was much bigger than everyone. Just go to the corner, man. I'm going to throw it to you. Easy touchdown.
Yep.
So Zach Kuntz, welcome to the Buffalo Bills.
Wow. Let's go. Mike, I like your reasoning behind these picks. It does make a lot of sense to me, and I think you're getting some good value, even though PFF's going to tell you otherwise.
Yeah, they are for sure. Now, look, I still want that complimentary running back. I do. We don't know what Singletary. We know Singletary is not signed right now. I love Motor. I hope he comes back to the Bills, and nothing would make me happier. But right now, I have to believe he's not. I have to assume that because he's just not signed yet. So I do want a running back. Now, the running backs that I wanted are not there. But we did talk about a few of these guys, and I like a couple of them. We talked about Eric Ray. He's out there, played for Oklahoma. Really like him. They don't necessarily fit my build, meaning they have to be 6 feet, and both these guys are over 200 pounds. But I want to throw it to two of you. I'll start with you, Brett. If I'm picking between McBride and Eric Ray, I think Eric Ray was your guy. One of you guys said Eric Ray in our past show. Who are you taking?
I would have to take McBride. I think he's way better. I really liked what he did at the combine. I think he's a much better running back. If you look at the grades right there, I mean, 94 this year. He's
Production.
Yeah, a lot of production too. Yeah, he didn't play against any big schools, but he had a lot of production, and I think that he can do a really good job for the Buffalo Bills. And
Look at the yards per carry. Look at the yards per carry real quick.
Yep.
Holy smokes.
Can't see it.
That's insane.
Where are you seeing that?
7.3,
Oh,
6.7, 9.3.
9.3. Are you
Against-
kidding
We
me?
got to remember, guys, it's a small college and college
right.
in general. So
Yep.
Conference
Yeah.
obviously you
USA.
have to look at the stats from college, but
Jake, if you look at one thing in this, when they're showing the stats, the one thing I'm noticing is there's a lot of attempts for him, 233 this year, 1,700 yards, but there wasn't a lot of targets receiving.
Yeah,
So that's
none.
something that concerns me a little bit as a
Sure.
GM. So if you look at Eric Gray, he was more of the complementary back where he was utilized in the screen game. He was also utilized as a in the run game too. Now, I mean, this is a situation where the 3rd round potential that you could get, he could be a steal, or you go after a guy that I'm not going to use the word Mike, but he can.
You can use it. It's fine.
Well, I won't use the word. I'll say this: his draft position is expected to fall back into probably the 5th round, but you can move up to get him, and you can get him in the 4th round. Do you take him early, or do you take a guy that's kind of falling in the draft? So it's a strategy that you have to think about as a GM, and when you put your GM cap on, you got to make the decision. So if it were up to me, I would take McBride in this situation, but I think that it's two really good backs, and you can go either way, though.
Yeah.
I got an
So-
idea, Mike, before you continue. How about, well, I don't know what the cap will be, but from now until for further notice, besides of what I'm about to say it, every time one of us says potential, we donate, whatever, $1, $2, $5 into
I like
a
it.
pool. And then once we stop, we can be like, oh, now we'll do something and do a giveaway or whatever. And
I like
then,
that.
All right.
I mean,
I like it.
I'm gonna I'm gonna be very good at not trying to say it, but I know people will mess up and say it anyway. So eventually it'll get money in there. But
How
I
about
think
this?
we
How
should do
about we
that.
get each week we have a if we use the word potential, you have one freebie, and then after that it goes to the pot.
No freebies. No
No freebies?
No, not anymore. Not
Okay.
anymore.
Okay.
Right, straight to the pot.
All right,
Okay.
I like it, Sean. I'm definitely on board
Starting
with
now,
that.
though.
So
all right.
welcome to the Buffalo Bills, Dwayne McBride.
Now I gotta go into my
Now he's 5'11".
Reminders.
He's over 200. If he's wearing some cleats, he meets that 6 foot. I just have him to wear some risers in his shoes. Just get an inch more.
Get the
so.
3-inch risers.
Yeah, right.
Too. There we go.
Have you seen that Instagram thing that's going around where they have these like 2.4-inch shoes that like increase your height supposedly?
No.
I
Yeah,
gotta send it to you. It's
Where
like
can I
the
find
weird.
them?
I don't know, but it's weird. I saw it the other day, and I'm like, I should have sent it to you guys, and I was laughing at it, going, "Okay, this is funny."
Well, that seemed to take forever to get my last pick. So here we go. You know, I had my note to be best available, but I'm going to look at a safety real quick. And there we go, because we love taking safeties. And yes, my guy from Virginia's there, Shamari Connor, and that's who I'm going with. Welcome to the Buffalo Bills.
I like
show
that.
you. Let me show you a little bit about him. He's again, he meets my criteria. Over 6 feet, 206 pounds. Senior, love the experience. Yes, I'm in on that all day. And we seem to love to draft safeties in the 6th round. So here we go. You know, based on the safety, based with Poyer coming back, based on the fact that Christian Benford, I think they're gonna get some time at safety this year. I thought Cam Lewis did a pretty decent job when he played. So I feel we're in good position, but this is what I'm gonna go with. You know, one of the things we're missing in my draft is a linebacker. I did not think this draft class was a good one for linebackers, unless you were lucky enough to get somebody in that first round. But I'm gonna trust in Mr. Number 3's pick last year, Terrell Bernard, or somebody else.
I'm
that they've
shocked to
already
hear those
drafted.
words come out of your mouth.
I know, but you know what? My draft is relying on those picks that came before this year. I gotta trust that they're gonna play him more.
How about
And
Balin
then-
Spector?
And then I was Spectre.
yeah.
I know you're a fan of him. So
My
Spectre
guy.
also.
I like that.
I don't think either one of them bring that big physical presence. I was looking for a big physical presence for the Buffalo Bills at that middle linebacker position. So there we go. DeJuan Jones. See, are you
I don't
freaking
agree
kidding
with
me?
that. Those
Come
bad
on.
grades.
Joe Tippmann. Come on. See, are you kidding me? They
Hey,
tell
you got
me
better as the draft went on, it
Yeah.
seems.
Osavas,
Well, kinda.
freaking fantastic. That's what an F stands for here. Zach Kuntz, C minus. That dude's going to be an A. Trust me. McBride, a B plus, and then Connor, an A. So there you have it, guys. C plus. I'll take it. I'll tell you what. I don't believe the score is correct. I don't think PFF is updated based on the combine that Osavas put out there. And what are they thinking? DeJuan Jones. Come on. Are you freaking kidding me? The reason I took DeJuan Jones, of course, if you don't take a tackle in the first round and you believe you need a tackle, the best tackles, there's 2 of them. There's a couple others. I know Bergeron was one of them that we had talked about. But
Yep.
this guy is just a beast. And I just fully trust that he'll come in there. And look, if I need a 1 or 2 yards, who am I running behind? Go to the right. I'd be running all the time behind this man because there's no way you're not going to get
Can't
1
even
or
see
2
your
yards.
running back
Are you
behind him.
kidding me? Seriously. Give me a chance, guys. So there you have it. Any thoughts, Jake, on this draft?
I love what you did here. I think you got a lot of physical freaks. I mean, absolute insane combine warriors. And I know that doesn't always matter, when it comes down to actually playing the game. But in this case, it's something I think the Bills really haven't done a lot of. So I like you being creative here, Mike. I like you taking a few reaches, in both Andre Iosivas and Zach Kuntz. I think it's a brilliant move. So I think you did a great job. I'm going to give you a B+. I'm going to up that grade a little bit.
Your thoughts, Sean?
I think it's great, Mike. I mean, I'm not going to get into what I'm going to do, but I think you hit everything that we could possibly need. And obviously, I'm 100% with you in the first 2 rounds. 100% got to get offensive line. I love Andre. I don't know. I think you could have waited another round for Kuntz, but it didn't matter because you had another great pick the next round anyway. But
Yeah.
I definitely think it's better than a C plus for sure. But I think it goes down to PFF goes off of where they're ranked and then where they're picked. So as DeJuan Jones definitely isn't a C pick, but they have him rated like 33rd. So because you picked him at 27, they're like, oh well, there was 4 people better than him that you could have picked. So it's kind of dumb that they do that, but I don't think it's a bad draft at all.
Trek reviewers basically giving me an
D-.
F- on a
Woo.
Trek.
I
Well,
love
this-
his Jackson Kirkland take. I think that guy is a stud. He's 6'7", 340, guys. Monster.
Well, we'll see if you guys take him. Trek reviewer, the fun thing about this is we'll see, right? Time will tell how this draft, if they take any of these guys, which I couldn't see why you would not take Jones in the first round. I really can't. Tippmann, again, being able to play center and guard, I think he's a better choice there at number 2 than Whippler. And Osavas, I'm just love this guy. And again, I know he played at a smaller school, but athleticism off the charts, great size, great speed, exactly what we need. And then you put out there Davis, Diggs, and this guy. Watch out. Kuntz might have been a reach. You're right. I agree. But a 6'8", 40-inch vertical, runs a 4.5, something crazy for a tight end. I mean, that's Gronk. That's Gronk numbers right there as far as size and speed and try to stop him in the red zone is all I'm saying. McBride, I think, was to be out there in the 5th round. I think that was decent. And again, I wanted Roschon Johnson, who the Bills also talked to, which I mentioned earlier. And then Connor, we love to take safety. So let's move on for sake of time. And next on the board, who did I say was going to be next?
I think it was me, but I don't remember 100%.
All right.
You guys
Well, good.
remember?
We're good with that. It's all good. Let's go.
Let's do it, Sean.
Hat backwards for the draft.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Ash
and-
Ketchum style.
Part of my strategy is no running back because we're either going to bring back Motor or we're going to wait till after June 1st and we're going to sign Zeke on a 2-year deal.
Oh, okay.
Zeke's
Yeah.
absolutely incredible pass blocking. We don't need him as a all-purpose back. He had 13 touchdowns last year. We need short yardage and goal line in the red zone, which
Right.
is essentially what he's perfect at right now. I don't care. He doesn't need to get 20 carries a game, and he won't be the starter. But I guarantee you somebody will pick him up after June 1st because I think he has a year or 2 left on his contract. And if you sign him before June 1st, you're paying his contract. So we're going to wait on that. I would absolutely take him for 2 years, and I wouldn't give him a ginormous deal by any means. But, I mean, I don't know what his value would be, but I give like a 2-year, $10 million deal and, just use him as the power back. And so Josh doesn't have to do all the short yardage stuff. And, he's essentially like another offensive lineman in pass pro. That's how good he is. And obviously he's not the size of one, but
Yeah.
that's something Cook can't do.
Yeah.
Motor's okay, and Hines can't do. So you already have that going for him. But my other part of the strategy is if Spencer Brown's playing at right tackle this year, something went wrong. So no Spencer Brown and no running back. And
This is great too because look who's on the board. You got Bijan Robinson, so that automatically eliminates him from that
it absolutely
conversation.
eliminates him. And again, I don't know why it says we need a D back. We have enough corners. We got
It's probably
Jack
alluding to
back,
safety.
You got Elam, you got Cam Lewis. We have enough defensive backs. I don't know why they put that.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to focus on, Mike, go to tackle, interior offensive line, linebacker, defensive line, and wide receiver.
Tackle. What else?
Interior.
Yeah.
We'll do those 2 for now, I guess. That's fine for now.
Okay.
Again, I love the DeJuan Jones pick, Mike. I think that would be ideal because, he plays right tackle and he's just an absolute truck. But because you picked him and I'm going to go with Harrison, even though, he's not essentially the right tackle. But to be different, and I think they're both great picks, I'm going to pick Harrison. And again, I think he can easily play right tackle and already be a significant upgrade to Spencer Brown. And then you could put Spencer Brown in that heavy package role because, you know, a lot of people think he's the best. He's an incredible run blocker. So if he is that, then you put him in like Bobby Hart last year. Then you got Harrison, Brown, and then possibly Donald Parham at tight end, or another 6'8" Zach Kuntz at tight end. Then you got a huge, absolutely massive heavy package. But
I like the Donald Parham plug.
Yeah, I'm going Harrison because we absolutely need a tackle, and the tackle talent significantly drops.
Jake, look at one thing. Jake, look at one thing on here though. The Dallas Cowboys grabbing your boy Zay Flowers.
Oh,
I like that for them.
One more pick you could have had Zay Flowers.
I know.
Jake, can you highlight Josh Forrest's comment real quick? I just want to read it and talk about it because he's got some great talking points.
Yep.
Yeah.
He said 2 mocks in a row. Nolan Smith is sitting there. I know they drafted Epinesa, Rousseau, and Basham and have Vaughn, but how do you not draft Nolan Smith and let him know to play linebacker and DN? I 100% agree with you, Josh, and there wouldn't be a wrong pick. I just think based off of where we are right now, we absolutely need to get Spencer Brown not starting right tackle, and I think Harrison or Jones would absolutely be a significant upgrade and put us into a better direction than what we would be if we possibly waited for somebody in the later rounds. But I don't think it would be a wrong pick to go with Nolan Smith at all. But for my personal agenda, I think we need to focus on offensive line. But again, he's a guy that if he's there and they go with him, I won't be insanely mad about it. Because I'm already anticipating them not to go with offensive line anyway. So I can see them doing that. Because I think, when was it? Bean said he would draft defensive line in the first round every single year if he has to. So I could see him. Doing that. But again, me personally, we got to fix this offensive line first and foremost. I think I love Basham. I love Epinesa. I love Rousseau. They're going to be absolutely great for us this coming year. Again, with Vaughn back, everything changes. So I wouldn't be mad about the pick. But again, me personally, I'm going with tackle.
There he is, John Michael Schmitz. Listen, I love what you're saying here too, Trek Reviewer, about John Michael Schmitz. I think any other year, probably a first-round pick. I think he's worthy of a first-round pick. And if he's on the board, you got to absolutely have that conversation. I wouldn't mind taking him at 27, to be honest with you. I think he has the ability to play right away. You could play him at guard. You could play him at center. He's super athletic. I mean, incredible football IQ. In my opinion, he probably is the best center prospect on the board, even over Luke Whippler. So, absolutely, man. I think it's a point
even over Tippmann.
Yeah, I put him over both of them actually, Mike.
All right. Well, you know my opinion. I agree on the tackles.
I love Joe Tippmann too. That's tough for me to say.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going Harrison.
Welcome to the Buffalo Bills, Anton Harrison.
All right, I like that pick. Very nice, Sean.
I know you're going to get a better grade because we did with him before, and we know you're going to get at least a B with that guy.
That's right.
If not more. The only thing I didn't take him is because he has played a lot of left tackle. They do think he'll be a good swing tackle, but he doesn't have the experience as DeJuan Jones, and he looked like he needed to put on a few more pounds. But here we go.
I definitely take Tanner McKee there at quarterback. No. Okay, so now interior offensive line, wide receiver, linebacker, defensive line. Okay. Let's go down a little bit.
Did you want edge rushers too, or no? Because you did an interior defensive line.
No, not edge rusher yet.
No edge? Okay.
But just to get the looks going, I'm still probably going to go guard here. Or interior, but I just want to look, to see where everybody's at. You're good, Mike. You can go back up.
All right.
Yep, and because Tippmann's my guy, I'm going to go with Tippmann as well. I know Mike picked him, so everyone's probably like, "Oh, these guys are boring. They're picking the same kind of guys." But again, I like the flex. I think I was one of the people that thought we overpaid for Bates off of 4 games. Everyone was in love with Bates, thought he was great. I was like, well, there's a reason why in 4 years he finally played a game. He was finally started in a game after 4 years, and it kind of showed last year. And I think Tittman would go in and challenge him if obviously Morse is probably going to come back, and I think that Tittman would absolutely challenge Bates and probably win the job. The only thing I'm worried about is how the coaching staff is about rookies. So I think even though Tittman is a better player than Bates, or would be a better player than Bates because he's not in NFL yet, that they would not start him because Bates has earned the position and he's a veteran and they like him. But then again, when Morse is gone, then you got Tittman going back to center. So I would pick Tittman here for those reasons. And
right.
then after that, offensive line's taken care of.
How about this comment? So Joshua saying he doesn't think Von's going to play at all in 2024. I think I'd be a little surprised to see that. I mean, obviously ACL, it takes a little bit to get back, explosiveness. And I guess getting back to 100%, it's definitely something to consider. So that's his reasoning for taking Nolan Smith as well. So
I think he means Von's going to retire after 2023.
Yeah.
I said, 2024. My gosh, look at me. Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, but then at the same time,
I'm thinking, wow. My bad. Just throw that out the window. It's been a long weekend.
There could be another great edge rusher next year.
Right. That makes sense.
So,
that makes sense.
And again, Josh, you're not wrong in the least bit. I think Nolan Smith would be a phenomenal pick, but this year specifically, you need to start fixing that O-line now because it's been a downfall essentially the whole time. So again, there's nothing wrong with that pick, and they'll probably do that because I don't remember I don't remember what year it was, but I heard Bean say he'll pick defensive line in the first round every single draft. So I really don't think he'll pick offensive line, but this is what I think needs to happen if we want to stop being in the drought of getting into a Super Bowl and winning one and just being complacent with, they get us to the playoffs every year. We win 12, 13, 10, 11 games every year. I'm sick of that. It doesn't, what's the purpose of it? You just end up in the same position as if you were in the drought.
Tired
but
of it.
yeah. Caller, Michael K hasn't been around. He hasn't been around for a while. But thanks for coming in, caller. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm definitely going with Tittman here.
Tittman, welcome to the Buffalo Bills, Joe Tittman, for the second mock draft in a row. I just want to say that, I mean, we talked about the offense, right? You got to outscore a point. You can't put up 10 points. You got to put up a lot of points against the Chiefs. I don't care who you have on D-line, especially against a guy like Joe Burrow. That dude takes a 2.5 step drop back and gets the ball out of your hand. Mm-hmm. No DL or edge is going to help you in that situation.
Exactly.
You got to put up points. We went 3 and out on our first 2 drives in a Cincinnati game, and you just can't do that. So, Tittman, love it. I love that you went tackle and center/guard, just like I did. So, love it. Next up.
Mark Color. Mark hasn't been here either. They've been silent on us, but appreciate you tightening them up for us. But before we continue, Garrett Williams, I love him being there. I just really don't think we need a corner, but it's hard for me not to go pick him right now, but I really don't think we need a corner. But I need wide receiver, tight end, linebacker, edge, and defensive line. Please.
Of course. You don't have to say please.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, like it's hard for me not to pick him in that pick right there. But I just think we're set at corner, and it would be useless anyway because you spent a first round pick on a corner last year. You just signed one. You got Tre'Davious White. You spent a 6th round pick last year on Benford. So I think we're set. We're all good on corner. Scroll down just a little bit.
You don't like Dell from Houston there?
I'm gonna leave him for Brett. I know Brett likes him.
Brett likes him. All right.
Let's go down a little bit more. Okay. Go up, please.
Yes, sir. No please needed. Just say go up, go down.
I actually I know it goes against my big school. I think it's a little bit higher.
You rolling with Carl Brooks?
Yep, Carl Brooks. I forgot his first name. Carl
Like
Brooks, Bowling Green.
Let's take a look at him.
That's a nice prospect. I'll tell you what, a lot of guys have him potentially being even used as a defensive tackle. He's like 303 pounds. Yeah, what
He's
is
a
it?
big
Yeah.
boy, 6'4",
yeah.
6'4",
300.
300. Like I said, I think.
But he beat a lot of guys off the edge too. I mean, he's super athletic.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like him there. And again, obviously, offense is more important. But you pass on Nolan Smith. Yeah, this guy's not Nolan Smith, but he could definitely come in. And if they don't make him change his body weight and how he plays, he can come in and make a difference. Because we
Right.
saw that with Epinesa. We
He's
drafted
bigger
him
than
at
Ed Oliver too.
Yep, we drafted Epinesa at 290 or 285, and he was just a power rusher, and he got like 10 sacks a year. And then we made him drop 60 pounds, and now he just gets thrown around like a rag doll. He's super fast. He's
Yeah.
super fast. So I think, was it last year or the year before, he had the fastest time getting off the line of scrimmage of any defensive line player in the NFL. So it made him fast, but it wasn't his game. His game wasn't speed rushing. His game was power. And we took that away from him, and that kind of sucks. So I like Carl Brooks here. Again, I was hit between him and A.T. Perry, but again, I think free agency isn't over, and I think it's possible we may get another wide receiver, or hopefully my man Andre is there in the next round.
Now, Mike, A.T. Perry is a guy that I was kind of surprised. I thought maybe you would consider him. He's 6'3", 200. People compare him to Devontae Parker. Very long, athletic guy, can go up and get it, ran 4.47. I don't think he jumped as high. I think he was at like 30, mid-30s, 35, it looks like. So, but that's an intriguing prospect there in the third round as well. He's climbed on a lot of boards. And
That's
he's a
a
Wake
good-
Forest guy. I mentioned Wake Forest every show I can, so
Yeah.
I love Wake Forest.
That's a good point, Jake. I just missed them. I mean, when we went over our skill positions, I knew you guys were going to take some of the top guys like you always do. I always look for that gem. And like I said, Osalov he's shining. I think he's going to be a gem. But A.T. Perry, if he's got that size, like you said, and he's pretty much got similar speed, I'd be all over him. All right, let's go. Carl Brooks, welcome to the Buffalo Bills.
I like it, Sean. Way to switch it up a little bit there.
Trying to be unique.
Maction, too. You can't go wrong with a Mac school guy.
Yeah, I want to see how fast he is. He's a big dude. I mean, big dude.
And again, guys, no running backs. Spencer Brown won't be playing, won't be starting. And that's the main goal of my mock draft.
We signed Zeke.
And sign Zeke. Again, he's not going to be all-purpose back, but he's going to be exactly what we need. And hopefully we can make that happen after June 1st. But if we don't do it, somebody will pay him. I guarantee that. But, okay. Wide receiver, tight end, linebacker, defensive line. It's basically going to be that till the end.
Okay.
Everyone's sleeping on Dorian Williams, man. Tisk. I like that kid a lot. I really
go
do.
back up to the top, Mike. I was fixing my.
That was the Dorian Williams is at the top.
Oh, he's at the top. Okay.
Yep.
You don't have to go
Sure.
down too far this time. Just a couple more little things.
That was
there.
my guy Zach. So I took him in the fourth last time, but yeah. And then who else we got there?
Bryce Ford Wheaton. Flies.
All right, Mike.
He's 5'6", probably,
I've
right?
seen
Jake?
all
I
I
know.
needed to see. Go
I'm
back
sorry,
up
what's-
to the top, baby.
All right, sir.
Jake was saying something before I got a chance. He's like, I was sleeping on him, but he was in my mind.
I like it.
But going with Dorian.
All right.
What's up,
By the way,
Lewis?
Mike, you're totally wrong on Bryce Ford Wheaton. 6'4", 221.
Oh, all right.
He ran 4.38.
6'2", 230, senior. I like it. I love it. Dorian Williams,
again,
welcome to the Buffalo Bills.
I don't know what the defense they're going to play is this year with Leslie Frazier being out. I don't know how they're going to play it. And again, the answer might be on the team, but that's something to be determined. I do like Balen Spector as an actual linebacker. I think, he was a late round pick. but from what we saw, I was pretty pleased with what he provided last year. So he might be an option.
I
But,
agree with what Trek Review was saying too about
Yeah.
Ed Oliver and AJ Epinesa. Absolutely, both those guys are targets for sure. They're definitely considerable
Yeah.
trade value guys for sure.
So you want wide receiver, which other
D-line,
one? D-line, edge still? Or you just took an
Tight
edge
end.
guy, right? Tight end?
mhm.
Right there. All right, sir. This is just
All right,
fifth
now
round
slowly go down.
pick. Yes, sir.
Pause. That sounds weird. Sorry.
Keep going or no?
Just a little bit. All right, that sounds weird too. Okay,
Keep going.
back to the top.
And by the way, Dorian Williams, the reason why I love him so much is just his ability in coverage. Plays extremely well in his zone coverage scheme, so he would fit the bill.
That's right.
perfectly. Not as big as Tremaine Edmonds, but he is a sideline to sideline linebacker. So I think he fits the bill in all three phases of the game at the linebacker position.
I looked at him too, and my only concern was he just wasn't that big bruising guy who's going to take on those fullbacks, right? He is side
Yeah,
to
I don't know,
side.
man. I kind of disagree with that. I've seen him get physical. He's smaller. He's 6'2", 230, so he's not the 6'5", 260 that we're used to, but
Yeah.
I like him a lot. I think you're getting it's going to be hard to come up to Tremaine's level, but I think he's a solid pick, especially in the fourth round. I mean, shoot.
Yeah, I like his weight for sure. So who knows? Maybe everything. Again, you've seen him on film. I haven't. I've just been reading a lot of the, what the expert analysts are saying, and we are the expert analysts, so I trust you.
That's right.
All right. So what we got here, sir? We are in fifth round.
Throwing a wrench in it. Jalen
All right.
Moreno, Croper.
All right, let's take a look at him. Does he meet my
Fresno.
criteria? Has he got some height to him? Let's look. 6'1", 172, a little undersized in the weight, but all right. What do you like about him, Sean?
He meets the height, and again, he's not like that guy that stands out at you. Like, oh, we have to get this guy, but he has a great catch radius. He's got a great dynamic to his game. I just like how he plays football. I know it sounds simple, but he plays football how I want a wide receiver to play football. And if he's still sitting there and we don't pick a wide receiver sooner, I like what he can bring to the table.
All right. Welcome
Notice
to the
how I
Buffalo
didn't-
Bills, Jalen Moreno, Cropper.
Notice how I didn't say that.
You didn't say the word. Very good there.
That was
There
pretty
we go.
good, Sean.
See, I already know that when money's on the table, I gotta.
Got to save money, man.
That's right.
Got to feed the kids.
Shout out to my Finns friends in the chat. Thank you guys for tuning in with us on a Sunday. By the
And
way,
he fits your prototypical slot guy as well.
yeah,
I think
absolutely.
he'd be perfect in the slot.
And then Mike, for the last round,
Mm-hmm.
I want tight end and D line.
Oh, you know my guy. Coons should be there.
Yeah, if he's there, I'm taking him.
Let's see.
I don't know. He
I
might
don't
be
think he
gone
is.
now.
He's gone now.
Yeah.
He's
He
got
Probably
it.
went in the fifth or sixth.
Yeah. What
I
are
think
the
he-
one, Sean?
D
Tight end
line.
and D line. All right. There we go. I'll scroll
DJ
down.
Dale.
Scroll down for you a little bit.
Just a little bit. There's a couple people I was thinking.
Okay.
I like the kid out of 10 Chattanooga.
All right, you're good.
All right.
Go up. DJ Dale,
Okay.
Alabama.
Okay.
Thanks, Lewis. Hit that like button for us. Appreciate that, my friend.
Let's see. 6'3", 300-pounder. Love it.
Late round, great value. Alabama. That's all you
Yeah.
got to
Remember the
know.
last Alabama
Yeah.
defensive lineman we got, though?
I know we have bad luck with D-line. We have bad luck with Bama players, I feel like.
Well, there's
Cyrus
always a
Kwanjo, Marcel Darius. I mean, Marcel Darius was good for a hot second, but then it sort of spiraled out of
There's
control.
always time to break anomaly.
Even Reggie Ragland.
Reggie Ragland, yeah. But you're right, Sean. It's time to break that. Break the chain.
All right, we're gonna welcome to the Buffalo Bills, DJ Dale, and then before we move on to Jake's draft, I do want to come back to linebacker and ask you guys some questions. So let's see. Welcome to the team, DJ.
Nice. I love it. Sean, that's a nice draft, man. I like how you switched it up a little bit there. you drafted some need guys, but you also filled some depth positions as well that can come in and contribute.
Thank you. Yeah, I tossed and turned going wide receiver or edge in the third. And then again, I really thought about Williams at corner, but I think we're fine at corner. And I think it'd just be for the kid's sake, a waste of his career because, I mean, we had a first-round pick and we let him sit for a ton of time. So I just don't think.
Looking much better than mine with a B minus. So Harrison.
Maybe.
The D plus on DJ was a little harsh, but
what the hell is that? In the 6th round?
Yeah, wow.
Come on.
Yeah. Tippmann with a C, just like what I got. Of course, we knew that was coming. I love the Carl Brooks, A minus, Dorian Williams. Again, I was interested in Dorian. Cropper getting a C plus, better than the F, but I'm telling you that F is going to be A or a B by the end of the season. Bet on it. So I want to come back real quick. So great job. I love it, Sean. I do want to ask you, since you were the first to take a linebacker. So we were always concerned that Edmonds just wasn't physical enough. He was taking the wrong gaps, shooting the wrong gaps, always missing that, not a lot of TFLs. And I wanted to ask, first of all, Jake, I'll ask you this. Go back in time and tell me some of the best middle linebackers, the Buffalo Bills. Some of them that come to mind. I know Spielman played for Detroit, and then he came over to Buffalo. London Fletcher. These were kind of smaller guys, but stout, right? 240, 245-ish.
Yeah.
And they were just those type of guys that would just shoot the gap perfectly, make those plays, TFLs, get physical with those fullbacks. Are you concerned with what we have on the Bills right now? Are you concerned? Because Bernard, you mentioned Spector. These just seem smaller. I guess they're going to have to change up their defense. But what are you thinking? What are you concerned about that at all?
The game's changed a little bit too, Mike. It's not as much of a run offense anymore. I mean, a lot of teams do not run a 2003 offense where they're handing the ball to Priest Holmes every single play. It's not like that anymore. So that middle linebacker position has changed so much. And a lot of these guys that are super, I guess bigger and, I guess can present that type of play, they end up moving outside. Like Micah Parsons, for instance, he never really played edge. He was actually interior. He was an inside linebacker. He moved outside. Then they put him at defensive end. And now he's, one of the best defensive ends in the league. So the game has changed so much. So I feel like that position over time has actually gotten smaller. You want a smaller, more athletic guy there that can also cover. So, right now with how you're evaluating these linebackers, it's a little bit different than how you would even 5 years ago. So you look at guys like Dorian Williams, 6'2", 230. Yeah, he's not the biggest guy in the world. Can he get physical at times? Yeah. I know a lot of the fans, they want to see someone that's going to come in and stuff running backs at the line of scrimmage and not play off so much and not finish and make a tackle 5 yards downfield or 10 yards downfield. Right. So I know that is something that we are looking for. I agree that is still a need at that position. That's something we haven't been able to fill, I don't know, really since London Fletcher. So, or Paul Posluszny was pretty good too, but
yeah, he was.
I would say, yeah, right. So it is a very interesting conversation, and I am not about taking a linebacker in the first round or second round. I think you wait a little bit, especially with the zone defense that we're running. We just need to take a guy that's good enough to play in coverage. I think that's our main concern because the guys that we have on the roster right now aren't necessarily the best cover guys, and that's what Tremaine offered. So Dorian Williams, really good pick there, Sean, again.
Yeah, I just worry because I know the game's changed, but there were some good teams that just ran all over us, and you put a lot of pressure on your front four if you don't have that linebacker that can come in there and stick his nose in there. And I don't know, Sean, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, Tremaine Edmonds got the highest inside linebacker contract in NFL history. Even if we wanted to bring him back, we just couldn't, as a team where we were, we couldn't match that anyway. What I didn't like about Edmonds, sure, his physical prowess was there, his height and his ability to cover was there. When it comes down to playing linebacker, I know I'm just on a podcast. I'm not Brandon Beane. People always grill me for that. Oh, you're not a GM. You don't know more than him. But you see what you see on the field. I played the position. I love the position. It's what got me playing varsity football. If I didn't switch to linebacker, I maybe never would have played a snap. And I've learned ins and outs of this position. He lacks the ferocity and the tenacity. He's hesitant. He's waiting for blocks to get to him, and then he gets blocked down, and then he tackled people 10 yards down the field. That doesn't mean anything. So his stats are up there, yeah, and he might do better in Chicago because of the defense they run. But with a 2 linebacker set, and they're asking him to play back, he just physically couldn't beat what he was supposed to be. And, people think, you're going to miss Edmonds. You're going to miss him. Whenever he wasn't playing, Dotson went in, he had like 12 tackles. And the real person we would miss is Milano. Milano is far and away a better linebacker than Edmonds, and you really feel him being gone when Milano's not playing.
Right.
But I think it makes sense what you guys say. You need a guy that can cover. But part of the defensive line does their job majority of the time with us. They clog the gap, and then it's up to the linebackers to fill. And then when you got Teron Johnson essentially playing a linebacker, and then who's small because we play the 5 corners or 5 D-backs, and then you got a guy like Edmonds who's waiting for contact instead of initiating, that's when you struggle. And that's when, he had a couple great games, but I have a lot of friends that aren't Bills fans that keep it real. They watch the games with me. They say you can significantly tell the difference between Milano and Edmonds, and how Edmonds are all the things that I just named, how he exudes those. And, people from the outside are looking like, oh, Edmonds is one of the best linebackers in the game. Stat-wise, it may seem like that. But when you think about linebacker, he just isn't that guy. And, I think that you could plug and play in someone like Bernard, who isn't the biggest, but is decent in coverage, and give him opportunity, he may shine. So I think, of course, we'll miss Edmonds. He was a great player for us, but he lacked a lot of things that a linebacker needed.
Yeah.
This is a good point too. I mean, something about coaching, and as an NFL player, you should be able to tackle, right? So
Except
this
for
is a
our
good
team, we
point by
struggle with
Color. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. I actually, let me take the time to read one of my favorite quotes of all time. It's from Jim Harbaugh, because we talked about how the body craves contact, and that's how Jim Harbaugh came out and he said this. He talked about grit and what it means to be a gritty player and to put your nose and get your head down and be in the game. So he said, this is what he said. It's amazing. He said, the human body is an amazing thing. It likes contact. It craves it, as opposed to a car. If you backed into a brick wall, that would cost at least $2,000 worth of damage. It doesn't have the ability to repair itself or callus over, but the human body does. Much like conditioning can improve, so can that callus of toughness and grit also be acquired or improve. It would be like a blister. It's soft, it's pussy, it's got fluid in it, it's going to break. The great thing about it, when it does break, it will callus over even harder, stronger, and better. I had to put that quote out there. I actually wrote that on a whiteboard. I have it down here in the basement. It really epitomizes what I see in linebackers and the fullback position, because I love fullbacks too. So I just had to share that with you guys. That's all.
Makes sense.
That's a great quote.
Yeah.
And I do want to say, before we continue, before Jake or Brett go back to the film, everybody, and you can count how many times on a goal line or a short distance stand, they were running the ball, Edmonds waited and waited and waited. And there was a couple that we complained about where he was literally halfway in the end zone on a 1 yard line.
Yeah.
And then try to tackle the running
Titans
back
game.
midway into the end zone. Like,
Try to shoot the gap.
that just doesn't
Yeah.
it shouldn't happen. You got they might pass the ball. You got to think, they might be faking it, but 9 times out of 10 they're going to run the ball at the 1 yard line. So it's your responsibility to at least step first forward. That's an initial linebacker step always. Step first forward. You see the pass, then you backpedal. You don't take your step backs first and then now I got to run in. You initially you have to run forward. That's how you play linebacker at the smallest level. Lean in, take your steps. They're passing, back. It's something that he never did, and it's like the simplest thing. But enough about that. Good luck to him. I think he'll be. I've seen people were like, well, now you didn't sign him. Watch, he's really good somewhere else, and then we're going to be screwed. He probably will be better at the Bears because they run a different scheme than us, and he might fit better if he's playing a different scheme, and maybe he might even play inside linebacker. He might be able to play it differently, but he just couldn't play to the standard that we needed him to in our defense. And it's hard in our set because you have two linebackers, and it makes it difficult.
Yeah. And I all your points are valid, Jake. Maybe the Bills get a little more creative on defense. They're going to have to and utilize these younger guys, these a little bit smaller, but they can go sideline to sideline and just fly all over the field. So I'm excited to see that. I just hope they make a change to what we saw last year.
And hey, don't get it twisted. Just because a guy is small doesn't mean he doesn't like to get in there and stick his nose in there and take on a fullback.
Yeah, well, he might be crazy enough to take on a fullback or a big O lineman, but you don't have some size to you.
That's true. Fair enough. I
And there's
respect
guys
it, Mike.
that are still available too. There's Bobby Wagner is still available.
Yep.
We also have Anthony Walker from Cleveland, he's somebody that's a sleeper, and I think
I like
he's
that.
fit into
I like that
Buffalo really well.
Yep.
All right. Well, Jake, you're on the board, buddy.
Whew, here we go.
All right.
They better not take my guy and pick before he goes or pick before we're
I've
up.
seen Zay available sometimes. Sometimes he's taken one or two before us. I know that's your guy, Zay Flowers. Let's see.
Oh, Cowboys went-
This is meant to
Cowboys
be.
went Torrens.
Is this not meant to be?
Wow. See, it
Is
is.
there even a question of who I'm taking here? I'm
Yeah.
taking Zay Flowers, Steve Smith 2.0 guys. Absolute electric factory. Can work the short side of the field, can work intermediate routes, can go deep, can take the top off you. I know he's small. He plays way above his size. He's a tough, gritty player. He's got an attitude. He brings what this offense is missing. Yards after the catch. Willingness to take on a safety or a linebacker in open field. I absolutely love it. Zay Flowers, that's a hell of a pick there. I'm fired up about it. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's meant to be.
You remember the last day we had, though.
I know. Hey, no relation there. No relation. Totally different receiver. Totally different build. It's beautiful.
Welcome to the Buffalo Bills.
Oh,
Zay
and this
Why
is
Flowers.
nobody
unfortunate
taking
because-
Why is nobody taking Tanner McGee yet? Is my question.
All right. This is really unfortunate because, I had mentioned, Zay Flowers going one pick before the Bills in our previous mock drafts that we just did. My guy I wanted to take there in the second round, Matthew Bergeron, just got taken by the Cowboys there.
Dang.
But
risk.
you know what?
They
there's
picked
some-
Torrens and Bergeron.
That is crazy. Yeah. There's some really interesting names on the board here. A guy that I did not expect to be available in Steve Avila. So I love Steve Avila because he can play both guard and center.
Yeah.
So that would be a really nice pick there, a potential replacement for Mitch Morse. You got Luke Whippler on the board. Let's actually take a look at interior O-line, if you don't mind, Mike. And then we might as well pull up tackles as well.
Can't
And it's
remember,
an
can't remember
it's
who
an
picked
interesting-
Avila. He's pretty handsome, I think, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was your guy,
Yes,
Sean.
he
For
is.
the audience, Sean was talking about Steve Avila
So-
on our show.
It's this is a really interesting choice here. I think just based on value alone, and the fact that we're at 59 here and Steve Avila has not been taken. I mean, there's a lot of other really good prospects
Great
on the board. We
pick.
took Joe Tittman in both mock drafts that we just did, but I got to go with Steve Avila here. I'm going to ignore the tackle position for a hot second. Don't get mad at me. Let's take Steve Avila.
There's other tackles we've talked about them.
Yes,
Yep.
there is.
I'm looking at Blake Freeland.
so far, man.
My sleeper was, I don't know when my sleeper got taken.
If we can somehow,
This is shaping out to be the best one so far, I think, Jake.
I hope so. We'll see.
It meets all our criteria, right? Helping that offense. It's got a great
It does.
undersized
Baby.
wide receiver in the first round. And then a nice center and guard.
Well,
in the
don't you
second.
worry,
I
Mike.
love
I'll
it. I
come
love
back
it.
to that.
All right.
All right, let's just see what the tackle position looks like. I know there's probably a massive drop off here. Yeah, Tyler Steen's an interesting pick there. Yeah. Let's look at linebacker for a second too.
You want another Connor on the team? Let's see here. Tackle?
Linebacker too.
Linebacker, you got it, sir.
Yeah. And then you might as well take a look at running backs.
Sure. Oops. There we go.
Okay, now Tank Bigsby is an interesting prospect. I highlighted him in our skill position show. I know Sean was totally against taking a running back. Mike, you took Dwayne McBride. This is interesting. I really like Tank Bigsby. I think he's Shady McCoy 2.0. He's not really that bulldozer of a back that you're looking for to complement James Cook, but he is an all-purpose back in my opinion. And it's another weapon for Josh Allen. So that is one of my potential thoughts.
He's 6 feet, 213.
He actually measured in at 5'11 and a half, I believe.
Oh, okay. We'll round it. We'll give him the 6 foot.
Yeah. But he's shiftiness, man. He is so shifty in open field. Gosh, he's a really good game changer, and I think this is really good value for him here. I'm going to take Tank Bigsby with the caveat that we just signed Donovan Smith to be our new right tackle. How's that sound, Sean? He's still out there in free agency.
Didn't he play left tackle though?
He did, but he's really good at so my thought is I think he can be more of a swing tackle, especially now later on in his career here, and he's a really good pass blocker. So let's go ahead and sign Donovan Smith in free agency, and we're going to take Tank Bigsby with our 3rd round pick. Welcome to the Buffalo Bills.
Welcome to the Buffalo Bills. I would love.
So I got 2 of my
jersey
prospects that I highlighted there.
with Tank on the back of it.
What a hell of a name, Tank.
Yeah.
It's a great name.
Donovan Smith would fit the better than Spencer Brown criteria, so
Absolutely,
that's
he
a
would.
plus. I just want to get a little bit younger.
I agree. I don't mind you. I totally respect.
But
that.
if we have to, if we're going to ignore the line in the draft, which they probably will, then I wouldn't be against Donovan Smith and then
right.
getting Brown out of there.
So now this is where I might make the same choice as Sean, but I do want to see really quick, what are we looking like at? Go take a look at tackle again, just for a second. I'm just curious. So Luke Haggard, I actually do like Luke Haggard a lot. I think he can survive until the 5th. Connor Galvin's climbing up the boards a little bit. Not really in love with any of the prospects there. Take a look at receivers, if you will, too, Mike. Okay. I think I could wait one more round potentially. I'm going to go with a safe pick, a guy that I really want. I'm going to take Dorian Williams here at linebacker.
Love it. And Color also loves Tank Bigsby's name. He said it fits.
Great name.
The seal of approval.
He got the name as a toddler. He used to just run into walls and get back up like nothing ever happened. So Dorian Williams, welcome to the Buffalo Bills. He plays great in zone schemes. So I think that's a
mock
really
draft in a row. Welcome.
That's right. Okay, let's take a look at receivers here, Mike.
What does that say above our pick with the Texans? Does that say traded or?
They forfeited the pick.
Yep.
Huh. What does that mean?
It was for I think it was some type of what was that from? Was it from tampering or something like that?
I don't
Or
think they tampered.
was it
I
with
think it was
Deshaun
from
Watson?
The Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, it was something with that. It wasn't, not tampering. I forget what they worded it as, but it was something related to the Deshaun Watson.
Oh, you know what it was?
stuff.
I think it was because they were paying for Deshaun Watson's
To get treatment?
treatment and everything. Yeah.
Oh,
Because they paid
Wow.
for him to go out to like a training center that was not inside the Texans
my
facility.
goodness.
It was during COVID that they did it. So they paid like
Shoot.
$25,000, and which is kind of crazy. But,
Yikes.
I mean, hey, Steve
nightmare.
Cohen can go out and get Edwin Diaz a personal
Yeah.
chef and everything, get him a personal trainer and all that.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just one way that the NFL tries to, they try to play their cards differently than the MLB, which I think the rules should be the same all over the board. If you want to do something for your players, let them do it. It's not your money.
Right?
There's
That's
Ryan
true.
Zimmerman days left until baseball starts.
Isn't that awesome? You fired up,
Jake.
Sean?
Yeah, I'm excited. We lost one of our young pitchers to Tommy John. He was supposed to be in the rotation this year, but we're still rebuilding. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun for sure.
So, yeah, Jake Bobo, that's a great name there, Mike, but I'm actually going to take a better prospect, in my opinion. Didn't have a significant amount of production in his collegiate career, but he tested extremely well at the combine. I'm going to make a Mike Thornton pick here. And I'm going to take Bryce Ford Wheaton, who I actually think is a little bit better than your boy Andre Iosovas.
Whoa.
Ooh.
And here's I'm going to give you some
Bold
numbers.
take.
So
He's got more weight to him.
6'4". He's
Yeah.
actually he measured in at 6'4",
Okay.
221 at the combine. Ran
Okay.
4.38,
Okay.
jumped 41 inches,
Wow.
10'9" vertical, 4.15 20-yard short shuttle.
Wow.
And again, you look at just if you pull up his receiving stats over the years, you know, it's not crazy or anything like that, but I think you look at his frame and his potential. $5 into the jar.
Yes.
Son of a gun. I tried to catch myself, but I'm gonna say it.
Let me write it
The
down.
hell with it. Let's take Bryce Ford Wheaton. I love
love
what he
it.
presents here. I already took my guy in the first round. Let's compliment him. Let's get that big jump ball guy later on here in the fourth round. It's tremendous value. And Bryce Ford Wheaton, you are the newest member of the Buffalo Bills.
Welcome to the Buffalo. Jake, I actually love that. I mean, meets all the criteria: size, weight,
I had to do it for you.
speed. Love this pick. Great job finding Bryce Ford.
Thank you, sir. It's funny when you I caught it. I'm like I wanted to say something about it when you mentioned his name earlier. We were talking about him and stuff. You're like, he's probably 5'6", and I'm like, actually, total.
Well, we
opposite.
got
I don't know, Jake. You always seem to pick those small guys, the
Yeah.
fast guys, but I love the first round pick. This guy, oh my God, you've just
Steve Smith.
elevated that offensive team, side
Listen,
of the ball.
my whole philosophy here is we signed some offensive linemen here as free agents. Now let's go and draft our skill guys because in the
Agree.
long run they are going to be more expensive. So let's get some guys that are younger, can come in and contribute right away, and take advantage of that. There's your guy, Brett. Look at that,
There he
Eric
is,
Gray.
man.
and we got $5 in the you know what jar.
I know. I cannot believe that. I caught myself saying it. I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna flat
Mike?
out say this.
Well, the good thing
Mike
is
said it
Jake-
too, so he said
You know-
potentially. So I don't know if that
Oh,
counts.
that counts. That counts.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
I wasn't sure. He said
Okay.
it
And you
earlier.
just
I was trying-
said it too for calling me out. Say, hey, we got the.
Hey, we got
the-
$15 in that jar. Wow.
All right.
We're gonna be rich.
All he had to say is Mike said it too, but he had
One
to
of these
throw out the
viewers is
word.
going to get something real nice.
And just so everybody who's just
Oh, we
tuning
got-
in now, we have a instead of a swear jar, we have the P word jar.
You can say it. It won't count against us.
No, I can't. I don't
Count.
trust you guys. I'm not
Oh,
gonna say it.
trust us. Trust us.
No, I
Gonna
can't.
clip that
This
out.
show,
But, the
we've
P
already said
word,
it 35 times in the show.
POT. I'm not gonna say the rest. Every
Yeah.
time someone says it on the show, not you guys, but one of us, $5 into a jar, and we'll say in like 2 months, we'll pull all the money together, and then we'll do like a little giveaway for like a prize or something for the viewers.
Yes.
I like
We're at
it.
15 right now, so far it's looking like it's going to be a pretty good potential. Oh,
Oh, we got him.
This is
pretty
amazing.
good prize. Now we're
I
at
love it.
$20.
So,
All right.
Ali, I am not going to take Eric Gray here. The only reason why, I already took Tank Bigsby in the third round. So
That's true.
if I hadn't done that, I think it's a great pick here. I love Eric Gray. Great receiving back, too. Very complimentary, obviously. You have two guys that are pretty similar with him and James Cook. I think Eric Gray's a little bit bigger, actually, though. Yeah, not a bad option at all. But the fact that I already took Tank Bigsby, I'm not going to do that. Mike, if you could, can you go to interior O-line real quick? Just want to see. Okay. Yeah, never mind. Okay. If you go back to the big board, just all, if you can, just clear the filters there. There's a guy on this board who I really like in Quindell Johnson, safety out of Memphis. I think it's a really good value pick. You look at guys that, especially the safety position. What do we say? We always like taking safeties in the later rounds. So this is a really nice value pick here. Experience. He's a redshirt senior. He even had the COVID year. So I like him as a potential. Oh, no. God, why do I always say it? I caught myself. That's 250. I like
Oh,
him
my
as
God.
a replacement in the future at the safety position. So let's go ahead and take Quindell Johnson right
Love
here.
it. Welcome to the team.
What about
Quindell
Juice Scruggs?
I love Juice Scruggs, but we already got our center in whatchamacallit earlier on. Steve Avila.
All right, let's see what the grades come in. I love it,
I just love that
Jake.
name.
I think you did a better job finding that gem with
I
the
think he gets an
wide
A.
receiver later. So I love that.
I'd be very happy with this draft if this
I
happened.
do not like the fact that you didn't get a tackle. That's the only
I know. Well, like I
gripe
said,
that I have.
we signed Donovan Smith, so that's taken care of. We're good. We're not going into the season with Spencer Brown as our right tackle. We signed Donovan Smith, got him on a nice veteran deal, 2 years, $10 million.
Oh
that's
my
right. Yeah,
gosh!
there you
Look
go.
at that.
Take a look at that.
Great.
That's the thing.
D
of
on Bryce
beauty.
Ford Wheaton. I think they're only giving me that because of production. They want to see a little bit more out of him. But I think in the 5th round for a 6'4", 220-pound receiver, are you kidding me? Runs 4.38, jumps 41 inches.
Yeah, I
It's a
agree.
no-brainer.
I agree.
What do they got with these bigger receivers, Mike? I mean,
don't know.
they gave
I
you an
don't
F. They gave me a D.
Yeah.
The
I
heck?
would
like
love
the
a
fact that you were able to
Villa
get that one in the 5th.
too.
I took my receiver in the 3rd, but I believe in take you what you need, and I love it. Great draft. Now PFF, don't get me wrong, I don't always agree with their grades, and I still am very upset about my C-, which I am going to watch closely throughout the year. We're going to monitor all these players, whether they're taken by us or other teams, and it's going to be great conversation during the year to say, look, I told you to get Andre Osafas, and look what he's doing for the Chiefs right now. He's killing it. We'll see.
20
Fair.
touchdowns and 1,500 yards.
All right, great draft. So far, we had an A- from Mr. Jake. We had a B- from Sean. We had a C- from myself. And last but not least, the young gun, Brett McDurphy, going to try to show us all up.
go.
And I expect him to also put together a fantastic draft. Are you ready, sir?
I am ready. I cannot wait for this.
Now, this
All
is
right.
the guy that's going to take potentially the best available player on the
Oh.
board. That's my feeling. That's my
You
feeling.
just
here.
said it again.
You just said it again.
Get out. Did I really?
Yeah,
How did I
Oh
not
my
even-
God. He just said
Do
it like.
we say the word that often? Like,
Jake,
Yes.
Apparently we
what
do.
the heck, man?
Jake's
Just-
got
Wow, look at the
Jake's
value.
got as much as us three combined so
I'm
far.
gonna default on my mortgage this month.
Your wife's gonna be pissed at you.
Oh, God. That's so
Oh.
funny. All right.
So this is a situation where if I'm Brandon Bean in this situation, I'm looking at if there's anybody that wants to trade. So I know the trade market. I'm just curious to see. I know nobody has considered it at this pick, but Mike, could you just go to the trades? I just want to see who would potentially. I just did it.
Dang, dude.
Consider trading with. I didn't finish it, but consider trading with Buffalo. So we're at 35 now, guys. So one episode, $35. I mean, we're doing pretty bad. So
It's hilarious.
6
Good thing
picks
we
to go
only
back
went for a
for 6 picks to go back. I wouldn't.
Hey, look
do
at
it.
that. Zay Flowers went 26 there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it in this situation. So Mike, could you go to the big board again?
Yep. So Jake, you're the first draft that I've seen Zay Flowers fall to us.
Oh, it
Which
was meant to
was-
be. I'm telling you.
It,
The only
it
reason I
was.
got
It's-
that is
it's
because I was on.
crazy.
Yeah.
There you go, sir.
Man, I want to take a defensive lineman, but I mean, I know that would be crazy. I know Sean, you go pretty crazy. I do think the value there for
I wouldn't
Yancey.
mind that one.
I think Cansey's value there is great, and you also have Ed Oliver playing on his last year.
Yeah.
I think it would be a really good fit, and I think that one of the things that Buffalo struggled with last year, especially was when Ed Oliver was taken out of the game. There wasn't really another guy in the interior defensive line that could get into the backfield in the run game. I know Daquan Jones did a great job. Don't get me wrong. I do think he did a fantastic job. He's on his last year of his contract. You also have Ed Oliver on his last year of his contract. You could go after a defensive lineman here. Not a bad pick. I'm going to roll the dice because I know everybody did take a offensive lineman here. I'm going to go roll the dice and just go with Cansey here. Just
That's
because
the
I
best
think-
available, Brett. I
best
like
available.
that pick a lot. This guy's already getting comparisons to Aaron Donald, former Pitt player, very similar in size. I think he's 6'1", 281 or something. He ran 4.67 at the combine. I mean,
Wow.
that's a big man running 4.6.
280.
Yeah, 6'1",
6 foot.
280. That's
Wow.
Aaron Donald size right there. It's crazy. And
I
it went to Pitt.
I like that pick.
All
But I
right.
love it.
Guys,
Trade
the
Ed Oliver
Buffalo
maybe too,
Bills,
right?
You could potentially trade Ed Oliver. I think it
Yeah.
Thanks,
fits
Brett.
Buffalo.
I've seen comparisons to John Randall, which is absolutely
Wow.
bonkers to be comparing him to a Hall of Famer. I mean, I already compared him to Aaron Donald too, arguably one of the best ever. John Randall, another one of the best ever. So it's
That's incredible.
yeah, you're hitting
Guys,
there pretty good.
Before we continue, we have 8, P words already. So I did the
40
liberty
bucks.
of looking up synonyms.
Who I owe
for the
20?
word.
Something like that.
Oh,
So
geez.
here's some synonyms that we could say instead: possible, likely, prospective, future, probable, budding, in the making, latent, embryonic, developing, dormant, inherent, unrealized, undeveloped.
Unrealized.
So we can use those
Undeveloped.
words.
I think undeveloped
Undeveloped.
is the best match because that's what we're saying. They are undeveloped. And it's going to take a little bit to get them developed.
But Jake and Brett both have 3, and me and Mike have
Wow.
1. So,
Jeepers,
Wow.
man.
so thank
Well,
you
we-
guys for.
yeah,
Yeah,
love
no
it.
have
problem.
3?
You know, it's the least I could do.
Yeah, you
I have
just
3.
said
I
it
thought I
without-
had 2.
You just said it without knowing like 2 seconds ago.
Wow.
Did I really?
I see. I don't
Yeah, you
even
said
hear
it about
Me
Ed
and Brett are
Oliver being.
screwed, man.
About
Brett's going to
Can't
play
see
this
being
back.
like,
He's going to play
Aaron
this
Donald.
back afterwards. He's going to
I'm going
check.
to play it back.
Did
I
I
want to
say-
make sure.
You said 3. You said 3.
We got to get
Okay,
a counter.
I'll go with you guys. I'll take that. That's 15. I know that's pretty high,
hilarious.
but
All right.
I'm not going to stay at the rest of the show. I'll promise you that. All right, so playing the Brandon Bean card.
Oh,
Oh, he's going to
Please
take a
don't.
linebacker here, isn't he?
Ah, man, I
He's
want
definitely
to. So
taking-
bad.
He's
I want to
taking
so
Henley.
badly.
you're the GM, buddy.
Oh,
Your
man.
moves.
I mean,
This
it's
is another situation where I would trade back. I really would. I think that there's future players that the Buffalo Bills could get later on after this pick, and I think we need more picks. So I would trade back, but in this situation, I cannot trade back. So I would take Henley at linebacker here, and I think he would come in. I think he's someone who can fit exactly what Buffalo needs. If you look at his first look there, 6'2", 232 pounds, runs a
Ran
4.54. That's the biggest thing that I'm looking for. He's fast, he's physical, he can come in and he can make a difference. 74 tackles last year, which is pretty good numbers, but I'm looking for somebody that can come in and fill Tremaine's place on the roster. And I think I'm going to take Henley here.
All right. Welcome to the Buffalo Bills, Mr. Henley.
You know, he's very good as a run defender too. So there's something to be said about that pick, something that people were just craving when Tremaine was here. So
Yep.
I like the pick, Brett. Not sure if it's the biggest need, but it is definitely a need.
I don't think it's the biggest need. Now, I'm ignoring the offensive
value.
line guys. Don't worry. I got a plan in place for fixing this. Can you go, Mike, can you go to offensive line now?
Interior.
What's up, King
Interior.
DTA? Thanks for tuning in. We
And can you also go to tackles too, please?
Yes, sir.
And then wide receivers.
Oh, all right. All
Heck
righty.
yeah, King DTA.
I wish there was a way here. If you knew a guy, everyone's passing up on Dow. I wish there was a way to just take him out of their view there.
Yeah. And can you also go to safeties too?
Sure. Safeties. First time someone's looking at a safety early on.
Now-
Let's go.
I like Jamie Robinson. I really do. I think he's a good prospect that could come into Buffalo, and
Yeah.
we have two safeties in place right now. He can learn behind two of the best in the business that do it. Two people that come in and they keep their mouth shut, and he could play that third, the third cornerback type of position, or third linebacker is what I'm trying to say. He could
Like a-
fill that position, but this year he could play into the special teams role. Or you could go after a guy like Michael Wilson here, who is another wide receiver that Buffalo could grab. If I'm thinking about this and I'm playing the GM card, I think you can go after Robinson here. And I think that this is a good pick. He's 6'2", fits exactly what Buffalo needs. He's somebody that was projected last year, I believe it was, to go to Buffalo in the first round. So grabbing him in the third round, late in the third round, I think is a great fit. So I'm going with Robinson here. And I'm
All
trying
right.
to fix the defense a little bit. And
Now, do you cut Saran Neal
yes,
if you take him? Because that is essentially what he is. He could play either corner. He could be like that nickel corner,
Yep.
or he could play safety. So you think you're after that, and he's a bigger build. So is that
Good
in the
riddance.
plans as well if you take him?
that is. My
Okay.
plan is to cut Neal, and then also have a plan in place later on in the draft to go after a couple of other players for the offensive line to potentially cut a couple of guys that I'll talk
Got
about later.
another one. Got another one. Yeah.
Oh wow,
He said he wasn't
guys,
going to
I'm
say
sleeping out here. I don't even hear this, Brett. I'm
Yeah,
just
remember possible,
counting
likely.
it,
I
Brennan.
gotta do this better. I gotta do a better job.
it. All right. What
That's
do we
amazing.
got? What do we
You got a wedding to save up for.
I know. I got
know.
$20 in place right here. This really stinks.
I'm building a house too, son of a gun, man. We're screwed.
You're gonna need my dad to go up there to build your house now. I mean,
Yeah, let me give him a call.
oh man.
All right. Where are you
Ah.
going, sir? Where are you going, young gun?
Cornerback is really. I don't think we need a cornerback, but I mean, just for value there. I mean, I'm going best.
available.
I'm just taking best available all the way around. But could you go to just to see the top prospects that are available at
Sure.
offensive line for both?
In my opinion, this guy's way too short for a corner.
Yeah, I agree.
That's essentially a replacement for maybe Taron Johnson. I think he's more of a nickel
Yeah.
guy. But
Where,
LT's cousin or nephew, rather, right?
just
Yeah, it's his
Danny's
nephew.
Yeah.
Where'd you want to go, Brett?
Offensive line.
Okay. Interior
But
and
I missed
tackle.
it. Both of them, please.
Oh, there's a guy on the board there. We talked about him earlier. Jackson Kirkland, 6'7", 340. Gives you the ability to play guard or potentially tackle. I think
Oh,
maybe a little better suited at guard, but oh my gosh.
that's 10.
You and Brett just stink at this.
Oh my god,
we do.
this is
Wow.
hysterical. I
Mike,
like the
listen,
size. I
Zero-
like the size. Zero
Mammoth.
pressures allowed in Rose Bowl against
You
Ohio
fans out
State.
there-
I don't want to
We
influence
may-
you, Brett. I just had to bring it up.
We realistically may hit $100 in one episode.
I know.
Oh,
It's very
Now-
likely.
it is
Even-
very likely.
Even probable.
Very probable. Undeveloped though.
Yeah.
It's very feasible.
We're at
Yes.
$50 right now just for one episode. So that
Wow.
that alone is already a great prize for somebody.
Yeah, I know,
so
shoot,
That is.
that's
It's a
great,
great
man.
prize.
Yeah.
You
Nope,
could, you know,
let's make it a month. Let's not make it 2 months because then we'll be broke.
we
Oh,
could,
yeah.
Hey,
we
let
could
me.
realistically hit.
Do this.
We could
Let me-
hit Super Bowl tickets, guys.
Maybe.
We're
Wow,
gonna have to
We're
buy
on pace.
Super Bowl tickets.
at this pace, yeah. By the way, I just want to say, if you're new to the channel, all our channels, please like, comment, and hit that subscribe button for all our shows. Red, White, and Bills, Go Bills Podcast, and Nickel City Mafia. We appreciate the folks that have joined us today. It makes it a lot of fun. So, hit that subscribe button.
Go Bills podcast is actually bankrupt now, so
Mild bankruptcy.
We're closing shop.
could you go to wide receivers too, please?
Yes, sir.
I'm just looking at best available all the way around just to see what's there.
Hey, King DTA, thank you so much, and color commentary. Thank you guys, appreciate it.
I'm kind
Means
of
a lot.
I'm in a tough situation here because I do think that offensive line is something that we need. I waited on it a little bit just because I wanted to play a different role here, but I'm going to ask the panel, where would you go in this situation? Are you looking at offensive line or are you looking at a skill player? So I'll start with Sean.
Well, you already hit skill players a lot, and so far, I'd look at offensive
Ooh.
line. Possibly look at offensive line here.
Yeah, I'm considering between Chandler and Jackson.
I think
And-
Jackson Kirkland all day.
Yeah, I do think Jackson Kirkland here. I like that pick. I think it's a great pick for Buffalo.
Great value.
All right. You
Let's
ready?
do it. Yep.
Jackson
let's do it.
Kirkland, welcome to the Buffalo Bills.
That guy is going to be a starter someday.
Guys, does saying put count? Or do you have
No,
to say like half the
we won't
word?
count it. You didn't even get halfway through, Sean.
All right.
You know what?
gotta
You know
say
what?
at least half
You
of the
gotta
word.
count it.
You know what though, Sean? If you start saying that too much, people will be like, "What the hell's wrong with this
Yeah,
guy?
like,
what
is
the hell's he
this guy
saying?"
just-
Why don't you say the real word there, Sean? Let him know.
Yeah, all right.
I'm trying to beat him. All
So
right, let's go.
You know how last year we double dipped and got 2 cornerbacks in the draft. We got the first round pick, and then we waited on another
Yeah.
player, and Christian Benford, who has all the skill positions. I think this is a great spot for Buffalo to go after another linebacker and get Dorian Williams
Okay.
back up. Then you could move on from some of the other linebackers on the roster who are taking up the depth pieces for us. You could move on from Balin Spector. You could also move on from even Terrell.
I don't know if they just
wouldn't say
re-signed him, so that's
Well,
tough.
Well, I'm thinking Tyrell Dodson, actually,
Right.
is who I was thinking. But I do think that that's tough to do.
How about that,
I
Mike?
think
Topper Harley.
double dip is right
It's
there.
Key to your heart. Roshan
You are,
Johnson,
man.
that is Mike
You are.
Thornton's favorite
Yes,
prospect in this
sir.
draft.
Big
You
back
know-
to compliment Cook.
Could you also go to? I like running backs here.
I'm still on Zeke. 2 years, 10 million.
I wouldn't mind that.
And
What'd you say? 2 years, 10 million, Sean?
I would.
Could you
yeah, I
also
would
go
mind it.
to
Okay.
offensive tackles?
No, Sean, he won't come to Buffalo. He wears that short shirt, that tank top or whatever. He ain't gonna wear that in the cold. I mean, he's like, no way, I can't show off my abs. Who else you want to go to?
Offensive tackles, please.
You
I
got
like
it,
the
sir.
kid out of Illinois too, Chase Brown. I'm a big fan.
He's a budding.
There is
He
no.
could be a
offensive-
budding star on our team.
So this tells me we got to sign Snell.
Why is
And then could you also go to? Could you also go to wide receiver?
Yes, sir.
I haven't gotten a wide receiver yet.
What are you doing, Cat? Oh, gotta get.
Is the Osavas still there?
Oh no, there's no way Osavas will be here.
You know,
Let me check though. Let me just go down to clear it. and go to wide
Maybe.
receivers. I mean, you never
Might
know.
be.
Nah,
No, he's gone.
gone.
Yep.
It looks like an early fourth for him. A lot of people.
Wow.
I'm seeing.
And then,
Yeah, mostly fourth. That's why I took him third because I
Yeah.
knew we wouldn't be able.
because
to
he would have
get
been
him.
gone. Yeah,
Yeah,
without a trade, obviously.
yeah.
Again, we're not doing trades for this. Everyone that's watching, we're just to in the essence of saving time because we always go overtime as it is.
Oh, trades
Let's
would.
do,
This is gonna be a 4-hour show, man.
It
Let's
would.
do Dwayne McBride.
Dwayne McBride.
All right.
All right.
Production. I think
take-
the only concern, obviously, we talked about it earlier on, is just the fact that he only had 2 catches this year.
2 receptions on 4 targets.
Oh, look at the
But, I
yards
mean,
and look
but
at
the
the yards
rushing
per
yards,
carry.
fantastic.
Holy smokes!
Yeah. So this will be the second time we took him in our mock draft. I took him early on, and welcome to the team, Dwayne McBride. Now the overall score. Is Jake going to take home the trophy tonight based on PFF?
He's got
Let's-
one more, right?
Let's
I
find
got one
out.
more pick. So
Oh, you do?
Yep.
I thought that was it. My bad. Got the 6 pick
I bet
coming
Brett
up.
takes a receiver here
Go to tight end, Mr.
or tight
I
end.
tried.
Kuntz is there. 6'8", 40
That's what,
inch
honestly who I was
vertical.
thinking.
He is a freak.
Oh, he just got taken by Tampa Bay.
Oh, there goes Bryce Ford Wheaton too. Wow, he went in the 6th there.
Oh
Luke Haggard. Eric
Great
Gray.
potential on
is
all
a
these
nice,
players. Now I already took the running back. so
Right.
can
I
do
was going to
that.
say if you hadn't taken a running back, Eric Gray might be a solid pick.
You want to go your
Sorry,
third
Colin.
linebacker off the board, Ventrell Miller?
I didn't take Dorian Williams.
You didn't? Okay.
Okay, so Mike, Jake, Sean, you're gonna hate me for this pick.
Oh boy,
Okay.
Stetson
Stetson
Bennett.
Bennett.
Now I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, we weren't okay with the Kyle Allen pick. He is only guaranteed $250,000 this year. If he doesn't have the potential, you could bring in Stetson Bennett.
What about Mac Barkley, man?
Matt Barkley's on the roster, but
Come on.
Oh,
Who do you-
geez.
No, you don't-
Fi-
you don't-
Mike's not gonna like
5'11"?
this.
Oh
You
my
don't
god!
have-
For a
you have
quarterback?
confidence in any
There
of
you go.
these quarterbacks to back up Josh Allen.
You don't waste a draft pick on a backup quarterback. 100% against
I
that.
agree.
Georgia
Now
has a
watch
tough
this.
history on quarterbacks, minus Matt Stafford.
I do agree, but you could trade him. You know, you could throw it out there. I do think that Luke Haggard is a better pick in this situation, but I do have concerns with grabbing Stetson Bennett here, just because I mean we don't need a quarterback, but I think Haggard. I think you could potentially get him as a practice squad player, which I doubt is going to happen here because we still have the 7th round going up.
I think the only concern I have with Luke Haggard, he is essentially what Spencer Brown is. He's 6'7", 300, very similar frame, and I think he is like a lot of people are looking at him like he's going to be a project more than anything, and he's kind of slid down a lot of drafts. But I mean, we're in the 6th round here, so I think 6th and 7th round is where you can kind of be creative and you can take guys, you can reach on some guys that are looked at as maybe undrafted free agents or guys that are falling down the board a little bit. There's a reason why they were considered, because at one point I believe he was considered a 4th rounder. So
yeah,
interesting.
No pressure.
The biggest thing that concerns me is off the field, and I think he could blossom into a player that could be a. This is hard because I have to I feel like I'm stuttering when I go through this because I can't use that P word.
I know you're just trying.
It's so hard because I'm trying to think of what to say here, and I can't think of what I'm trying to say while not saying that word. So
I'm gonna say something for you. Shamari Connor, safety. I mean, he got an A for me. This is this pick here is gonna make or break you to be able to take Jake for the crown tonight. So I don't know.
I'm gonna roll with Stetson.
Oh boy, here we go.
Sean's gonna lose his mind.
5'11" quarterback. Woo.
First,
see what I get.
First, we pick Jake Fromm and waste a 5th round pick. Now we waste a 6th round.
This is a Brandon Bean type of pick.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Not saying it's bad.
Now I could have went with a punter here. You know, I could have took Michael Turk and went with a punter.
Oh, I love Michael Turk, man. Matt Turk's son.
My only reasoning of saying you don't draft a backup is because you could get a cheap backup anywhere, and a draft capital is more important than because Betson could be a budding starter.
Oh no! Oh my goodness! He's been practicing. A for Cansey, A for Henley, Robinson, A, Kirkland B-, McBride B+. Right, oh my God!
Wow, Brett!
Are you kidding me, Brett?
I was at an A, not an A+.
Brett's been running through this. You know how he said he was sick the last 3 days. He's been running these models constantly. He trapped us, man. He trapped us.
I don't know about that.
That's some pick an F though.
It's an A. Can you believe that? Holy crap!
Here's a great question from King DTA. He says, who do you guys think are going to be top 2 in the AFC East this season? And also, are we concerned about all the moves the Jets have made and their potential projections?
Geez, yeah.
Thanks.
Oh my God!
I'll start off.
He put it in the comment. That's not even fair. King DTA, you're setting me up, man. Come on.
What did he say?
He said the word in his comment.
Oh,
unbelievable.
Did you say it?
I did.
Yeah, he did.
Oh gosh, I love it. Thank you for setting him up.
I'm going to say one thing about the Jets, because the move is not finalized yet with Aaron Rodgers. While there is a ton of speculation that Aaron Rodgers is going to the Jets, I'm not concerned unless they finalize the move with him. And I also have to see what they're giving up for Aaron Rodgers. If they're giving up that 13th pick in the draft, I'm not as concerned. But if they're giving up the 39th, a little bit more concerned. So I would say that they made some moves. Alan Lazard, I'm really happy with the moves that they made. But I just think that Buffalo right now with the quarterback position, I think we have a better quarterback than Zach Wilson who's currently on the roster. I think that all the moves that they made to move up and get Aaron Rodgers, really like them. But I think that Miami has surprised a lot of people this year, and I think that they could realistically take over the AFC East next year. If I had to pick one of the two teams right now based off of what they've done on the roster, I would say Miami and Buffalo are going to fight for the number 1 seed in the AFC East. Then it's going to be Miami and the Jets. It could play out one of two ways. And
how about New England? They've been making some under the radar moves, but just kind of piecing together a team.
Yeah, they need another year or two to develop under who they have. And I think that there's a 50-50% that say Mac Jones is the answer, and there's another 50%, including my father or my grandfather-in-law, who he's a big-time Patriots fan, and he says, I'm not really a believer in Mac Jones. So I think that you could go after another quarterback early on in the draft, maybe second round, and we'll see where that goes. So,
Sean, did he just
Let
say?
me let me answer
say
this
it
one
again?
too before I forget. Did he say?
Fine.
It? I don't know.
I was. My
Let-
wife's over here laughing at me, so I didn't
Oh.
hear him say it.
But let me say this real quick on that question. I think we all can go around, but I'm the oldest, and I'll forget my thoughts right now if I don't say it. So, Sean and I have been talking a lot. We have a channel that we talk all week, and if the Jets are able to get Rodgers, I believe the Buffalo Bills could fall to number 3. And usually I'm a homer. You'll never hear me say something like this, but I mean, all those games last year were extremely contested. We split with the Dolphins. We split with the Jets. They could have gone either way, all 4 of those games. Now you see the Dolphins. Now, the Dolphins, again, there's a big question mark. Tua, can he stay healthy? They did sign Mike White. Mike White showed some promise with the Jets. So I think they have a much better backup situation if Tua is not able to stay healthy. But they're skilled players. They did lose Gesicki, which is a big hit for them. But their defense has been up and coming.
yeah.
And I think, the Bills could fall to 3. Now, the number one thing, the big thing that the Bills have on their side is Mr. number 17, Josh Allen. And he's the one guy that could change everything that I just said. And I also think the only way that I'd be more comfortable with seeing the Bills get the number 1 seed is if they kill the draft with everything we said today.
Yeah.
At least the offensive side of things. That's my take. Let me throw it to you, Jake.
Yeah, this is first off, J.M. Santos made me want to do the Carlton over here. Tom Jones plugs, not unusual, incredible song. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air fans, you'll understand that. But anyways, no, I agree with you. I think you look at what Aaron Rodgers did this past year. Obviously, is a down year, but how many drop touchdown passes did he have? How much help did he have? It wasn't much, and he was still put up decent numbers. It wasn't the usual Aaron Rodgers numbers that we always see, but
On any other team, that would have been an MVP.
that's what I'm saying. You look at what the Jets have with Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall coming back. I mean, they have so many different weapons. They got C.J. Uzama as well at the tight end position. They still have Corey Davis as well. So there's a lot of guys on that team that are going to help him tremendously when he does become a Jet, and he's still got it, man. And he's an angry Aaron Rodgers. You don't want to be dealing with a former MVP who's pissed off and destined for even more greatness. It's going to be a battle. But Mike, you said one thing. We got JA-17. That's all we need.
Yeah.
But get him some help.
Get them some
Agreed.
help. Sean, your take on that question.
Yeah, well, as all the moves have been made by other teams and we haven't done much, it makes me feel like we could possibly fall to 3rd place depending on how things go. But my realistic idea is it's going to be the Bills and Dolphins again fighting for 1st place.
Yeah.
And there's a misconception that the Jets are a quarterback away from a Super Bowl. They're much more than that away. Yeah, they have a good defense, a great defense, but now a year with their new pieces, teams like the Dolphins and the Bills are going to know how to truly attack them, and their defense might not be as good as it was last year. As well as we have to remember, Breece Hall tore his ACL near the end of the year last year. He's not going to be back till midway through the season, and he's not going to be the same player because the only running back to come back just as good or better after an ACL tear was Adrian Peterson.
Right.
No other running back came back and was half as good. So I really doubt Breece Hall is going to be any good next year when he does come back. And again, their offensive line is banged up all the time as well. I don't think AVT is going to be back till maybe between the first quarter of the season because he tore his Achilles.
Yeah, that's a good
so.
point too.
I think it was his Achilles. So they're still pretty banged up. And then if you give up number 13 and then another first round pick for Aaron Rodgers, and again, he still has his arm. He's slow. He's not mobile anymore. He won MVP a couple years ago, but you saw what he did with young talent in Green Bay. He wasn't that great. And yeah, Garrett Wilson's slightly better than the weapons he had at Green Bay, but it's the same premise. Like, you're not going to have Devontae Adams. You're not going to have Aaron Jones. So you're not going to have David Bakhtiari. So I think the Jets are better than they were, just like the Bears. The Bears are better than they were 2 days ago. Yeah. But the Jets have to still beat the Dolphins and the Bills and the Chiefs and the Bengals and every other team and the Eagles and the Cowboys, because our division's playing the AFC East, the NFC East, and the AFC West. So it's not going to be an easy – I think we have the toughest because everyone in our division in the AFC East and the NFC East are the eight hardest schedules in the NFL this coming season based off of what they were. But I think it'll be a race between the Dolphins and the Bills again. Yeah, and it's going to come down to division wins this year. It's going to be less than two. It's going to be a game or within a game almost the whole year. I think it's going to be fun. It's good that the rivalry's back too. It makes it even more enjoyable.
I love it. It's great. It's fun to have a competitive division. And yeah, enough can't even be said about what Miami's done in the offseason here too. I mean, restructuring Tyreek Hill, bringing in Jalen Ramsey, which I think was a great trade. I think he's still a stud. And obviously had a little bit of a down year this past year, but you got the best two corners the best corner tandem in the league right now, arguably, on the Dolphins. So
secondary,
yeah, I mean, that secondary is insane. Their defense in general, I think, is very good and very underrated. And Josh Boyer is awesome, man. So, although is he? I know he was a target for a potential coaching switch up. I think he's still there though, right?
No,
he's
still not.
Have him? Or no, he's gone.
I think they have Vic Fangio.
Oh, Vic Fangio. You're right. They do have Vic Fangio. That's my bad. Yeah, that's right. Okay. I remember something happened there. Yeah. So
it's going to be
they probably upgraded there, if anything. So, gosh, I mean.
Boyer's still available, though. So, could be a
that's what I was hoping. Maybe the Bills would take a look. Yeah, Vic Fangio, man. That's a freaking insane upgrade for them, I think. And I think Josh Boyer is a very good coach, but
I agree.
Vic Fangio, I mean, that defense that he runs, he wasn't necessarily the best head coach in Denver, but I don't think – a lot of things were working against him. As a defensive coordinator, though, he's one of the best in the game.
Yeah. His defense was phenomenal.
Yeah. At first, when they signed Vic Fangio, I was like, well, they got to have the right secondary to run the kind of defense he likes.
Look at that.
And then, you got Javon Holland, and you bring in a guy like Jalen Ramsey, you need lockdown corners. You got Jalen Ramsey, and then, X was hurt most of the year, so I don't know if he's actually declined as much as it seemed. But he comes back healthy next year. You got two lockdown corners, and you got Javon Holland and Brandon Jones.
Dude.
That makes a tough secondary. So we're going to need an offensive line and receivers that can separate to beat a team like that. Because if we go in with what we had last year, we wouldn't beat them.
No.
On paper, it's all about what's on paper right now.
And they just signed David Long too, which was, I think that is one of the most underrated signings in free agency this year. David Long is a dog. So they just got better at the linebacker position as well. So
it stinks watching your division get all these good players, and then your team's just like, let's sign Kyle Allen.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean, I got a question for you. You were talking about the Jets and all these people coming off of ACLs, and they're not going to be any good. How good is Von Miller going to be?
Well, running back is just the statistical point of it is, Von might be terrible off of it, but the amount of turning and twisting and everything and tackling that a running back gets hit with is a little bit different than like a defensive end who's standing up, and yeah, you still turn and twist, but when you look at the running backs that have torn their ACLs, they haven't came back as strong as another position could. Look how long it took Trey White to come back, and Vaughn again. We'll see. He might not be as good at all, but it's less likely for a running back to come back stronger from an ACL tear than a defensive end.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vaughn's
Right.
a little different though. I mean, he's like Gumby, right? He's doing a lot of different to be at his full potential.
Yeah.
He's that type of player that could act. And this is what his second ACL tear. I think he's
Yeah.
coming back from,
It's the
right?
same one,
He's
so-
up there in age. Big concern if he's not playing. I mean, I don't expect him to play early on, but if he's not getting back to where he was early in the season last year, this defense is in a world of hurt for us. I really think we just lost Edmonds. Now we know we talked about the potential. I just said it. It got me.
Oh,
Potential.
hey,
Put me
drop
on
it
there.
in the jar. Boom.
$65 this episode.
For all of you that
We
are
talked
just joining
about
in or haven't heard,
The
we're gonna be doing a little
undeveloped. We talked about the undeveloped linebackers that we have on our team. So, again, going back to the Jets, you're right. You made a great point. Their defense, though, is stellar. And it'll depend on what they have to give away for Rodgers. I haven't seen a deal. I don't know if you guys have heard about the rumors of what they're going to have to give up. But if they don't have to give up too much, they're going to be right there. I really think so. Now, again, JA17, and I saw someone out there. Is King DTA? Is he a Finns fan?
Yeah, he's on. He's with Color. They have the Fins tailgate. They have a bunch of
Got it.
shows, and they each
I
have their
appreciate
own.
you guys.
It's-
Thank you
it's
so
awesome
much for
stuff.
joining,
You guys gotta check
seriously.
them out.
Yeah,
Heck yeah, I'll subscribe.
Your defense has been stellar. It's getting better every year. By the way, who signed Melvin Ingram? I wish we would have taken him.
He's
Who
still
got him?
out there.
So out
Oh,
there.
man.
He's still out
Come
there,
on.
Mike.
Sign him before he gets on the Dolphins again or the Chiefs. He always makes plays against us.
But just remember, everybody, if we have a outstanding offensive line, teams like the Jets and the Dolphins,
Correct.
who have great secondaries,
Yeah.
you stop that by mitigating the pass rush, giving your receivers and your quarterback more time. And then if you got a guy like Zeke able to pass protect as well, then it gives you easier opportunity to try and beat stellar defenses like that. But
I love this.
hey, I said that many times, Greg, in my private chat. So don't,
Greg, we're we feel a little bipolar at times. So I've never said that word. I think Josh Allen is a beautiful human being. I know you don't, obviously, but being from Buffalo, it's just nice to have a guy. I guess the best quarterback we've ever had since Jim Kelly. So it just feels nice right now to at least have someone there.
I think it's nice to have someone who represents the franchise the way that Josh does. Somebody that can come in and give you the whole entire organization a lift. And that's what he brought to Buffalo. And we needed it at the time.
We needed it.
We didn't have anybody.
Greg, I don't think you understand. I grew up watching Anthony Thomas run for 119 yards on 39 carries, and we lost a game like 18-6. And then I watched a game that was 9-6 against the Browns, and Derek Anderson threw for 37 yards and 2 interceptions, and we still lost.
We were
Just so
stinky
much
for a long
disappointment.
time.
Like, I don't even think it's unreal. Like, it's insane the misery I've gone through as a fan. And I think that's why I appreciate this so much more. So I have not forgotten where we've come from. I'm not just a bandwagon fan.
Yeah.
I love this team. I'm diehard, ride or die. I don't care what happens. I am always going to be a Bills fan. So
What was the game? It was a long.
What if they sell the team?
I talked about that, Sean, and just like the Braves back in the early 70s for me as a young kid, they left the town. No, I'm not following you. So, and good to see you out there, Jules Marie. And I saw a lot of folks here. I live out in California now, and I work in San Diego. When the Chargers left, a lot of my friends at work, they just weren't going to follow them, even though they're only like 2 hours up the road. I mean, there was talk the Bills would maybe go to Texas. No, I would not follow that team. If they abandoned me, I wouldn't do it. Anyhow,
Jake, what was the game like a few years ago where it was against Cleveland and Buffalo's punter, he like muffed a punt and it landed in the end zone, and
oh my God, yeah.
Instead of like sitting on it for 2 points, or no, instead of like letting them score the touchdown, he just took it out of the back of the end zone.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what year that was, but
Well, that would be Brian Mormon.
I knew it was Mormon. I knew
Yeah.
that was the case, but
Yeah, he's the Hall of
that's like a
Famer.
game that I remember.
Hey, Brian Mormon. There will not be any bad talk about Brian Mormon on this
No,
show.
I'm not.
He was
no,
our best
that
player for
wasn't
10
his fault.
years.
I know that Brian Mormon
He was.
was a fantastic player. I mean, him and Ryan Lindell
God.
to
Track
represent
star.
the special teams for Buffalo for so many years.
Yes.
We
That's
lived in an
incredible.
era where our best players were kicker and punter.
Yeah.
And-
Look at
Greg,
these
listen, we
three
watched
for
Ricky
each
Williams run for like 290 on us a few times. So
that was the best part of our years was Lindell and Mormon.
Jake
We're like,
Fiedler.
oh, we're punting and kicking a field goal. Let's go. This is the best part of the game.
Chris Chambers with the game-winning touchdown against us. I think he went for over 200 yards against us that one game. It was like 2005. Gosh.
So
I
this
don't
is
even want to
a-
relive those memories, but now I am. So here we
Yeah,
are.
so this is V2 for me, right? I've been through the Kelly days, the 4 Super Bowls. This is version 2. We just got to get there. And what's interesting is last year, I thought our window was wider, but now I'm seeing all these teams make these amazing moves in our division. It's going to be even more difficult than last year. Extremely more difficult than last year. So it's going to be interesting. I just hope we can get over the hurdle, but that window is shrinking, guys, because the Dolphins,
Yeah.
the Jets, the Chargers, everyone's
The
getting better.
Jags, the Chiefs, the
Jags-
Bengals.
Oh, the Jags. Exactly. So,
Oh,
my
man.
goodness.
Great name.
What's our schedule? Who'd you say we're playing, Sean?
Leo
this year?
Lemon.
We got the AFC East, the NFC East, the AFC West, and the Bengals and the Ravens, I think. Or the Bengals and the Steelers or something.
No Chiefs this year?
No, we
No,
the whole
no.
AFC
We're at,
West.
we're at KC. Yep.
We have the
Oh,
whole AFC West. So we got Chargers, Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos, AFC East twice, Cowboys, Eagles, Giants.
All right, man. Oh my
Man,
And we
gosh,
play
some tough
Kansas
games.
City next year too.
Yep.
So we
And then
play them
the
at Buffalo.
We play the Bengals as one of the teams. Like they pick a random division, and you play off of what ranking you
Wherever
were
they
in the
finished.
division.
Right.
Yeah.
So we play the Bengals. The Dolphins are going to play the Ravens.
Yeah.
And I forgot who the random other team, the other random other teams, but our division, we may be the best division next year, but we have the hardest schedule. So it's going to be like, I mean, realistically, as good as all the teams are going to be, the winner might have 10 wins of how hard the schedule is because, you know, the Dolphins, Bills, Jets are going to be tough. The Patriots are always going to give you a hard time. The Chiefs is going to be hard. The Chargers, they're always good on paper, so we'll see. You know, and then, you know, I think the Broncos bolstered their offensive line. They got Sean Payton, so it's going to be.
Would you guys trade for Austin Eckler if the value was right?
I would.
3rd round pick,
I watched them a
2nd
lot.
round pick.
Love them. But
Just
would
a
we
thought.
use him? That's the thing. I love the guy, but would we use him?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Zeke's available.
Yeah, I love it.
No picks given up for Zeke.
I know
Let's
people
see.
don't even want to think about running backs, but it's just a thought.
Yeah.
He's on the trade market. You talked about the Chargers a little bit. Austin Eckler is available.
Well,
for
he's
trade.
a little bit on the small side, so I like the Zeke idea much better.
Strong as
more,
hell,
a
though.
little more physical. Yeah, I know he
Yeah.
is, and I love him. Like I said, I see a lot of Charger football out here because I'm on the West Coast, and he's a stud. Well, listen, guys, we've been going for 2 hours and 18 minutes.
It's
I love
unbelievable.
it. It's been fantastic. I want to say thank you to all of you in the channel, the Dolphins fans that are out there, the Bills fans, any other fan. We welcome them all. We love to hear your thoughts on your team, and we appreciate you guys coming in. Now, the Bills sucks, and Josh Allen sucks. If that's your thing, it's okay. we're not.
And Topper, you are right, by the way. It is Damon Hewer, not Brock. Brock played for Seattle. But thank you for joining us tonight. Appreciate you.
Yeah,
everybody,
really do
for all
appreciate
love
it.
and support.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
if you're new to any of our channels, I know the Finn fans that are coming in are very familiar with Sean. He's jumped on some of the shows there with Miss Finn and the other gentleman too. What's his name?
TD.
TD, yeah. And then there's another guy. What's his name? The young guy. Who's the young guy you were doing some shows with last week or last year? You know who I'm talking about?
Fernando.
Yeah. So a lot of good Finn's content out there, and Sean, good stuff. So if you're new to our channels, Go Bills Podcast, that young guy right there on the right, Mr. Brett McDurphy, would appreciate your subscription. Nickel City Mafia, Jake, and myself, we'd love your sub. And of course, get on over to Sean's channel and hit that sub. We've been collaborating now for, I don't know, for a long time, and we love it. It's not the same when we don't collab. So we appreciate you guys, every one of you. I'll throw it around the channel and close it out. Brett, your closing thoughts?
Well, guys, I got to say, for 2.5 hours, being able to talk football with you guys and the intelligent conversations that we've had, incredible, man. I think that all these mock drafts that we've done, everybody that we've picked fits what Buffalo needs, and I think that whoever goes up to Buffalo and comes in, I think is going to be a great pick. So I'm happy with all of them, and I just want to see Buffalo in the near future go after some prospects that can fit what we need. And I think there's going to be some picks and some players that we are going to go after that will fill the roster of what we need so far. We don't have a ton of guys on the roster right now. I think we're in the 60 player range, so we need to fill about 30 more places. So we'll see where we go from here, but I think there's a few more players that we need to pick up on the open market, and I also think that there's some more players that we can cut too. So, and I apologize for the noise, guys. It's my puppy being loud again.
No worries.
She got a phone in her mouth, so she was good for 2 hours. That's usually the time range, and she's 7 months old, but she knows when she's going to be good or bad. So I apologize about that, guys, and thank you for being so patient with me. I'll say it on camera. I appreciate you guys being so patient with me. I know that we wanted to do the show on Wednesday, and I appreciate you guys staying with me and waiting for me to be on here on Sunday. So a few tough days off camera that happened, and I appreciate you guys for letting me do my thing, even though you could have moved on and I would have completely understood you guys moving on and doing the show without me.
Nah, wouldn't be the same. Wouldn't be the same.
Yeah, this whole draft series is us four,
Yeah,
so we
this is
gotta
us four. Yeah.
bring it all together,
All right, Jake. I want you guys to stay around because I know there's some Finn fans out there, but I'm going to have the best outro video that I'm going to play for all of you, and then you tell me if you guys, whoever you're following over there in Fins, if they have anything that's even close. But anything, anyhow, Jake, close it out, and then
Greg, I can't wait. Greg, if you're still there, I cannot wait for you to see this ending outro video. It's a lot of Josh Allen highlights. One of him hurdling another grown man out of the many times that he's done it. The most exciting and electric quarterback in football that is going to beat the Dolphins maybe twice this year.
There's no outro like this.
Fingers crossed.
There's no outro like this. It's by far the best outro I've seen out there today.
But no, it's a great outro. I appreciate all you guys joining us tonight. Seriously, we really appreciate other fan bases coming in, interacting and stuff. It's fun, and we like to chop it up a little bit too. But we appreciate the hell out of everyone. It was great to do this show with you guys. I hope we get Zay Flowers, aka Steve Smith 2.0, in the first round. If he lands to us like it did when I picked, God, what a match made in heaven that would be, and I think it's meant to be at that point. So let's just hope for that.
Love it, love it. Sean?
Yeah. Well, like you guys said, thanks for everybody for tuning in. We love the support, and it makes it even more fun when other fan bases are interacting as well, getting your perspective. And I've been an avid supporter of the Fins Tailgate. Love what you guys do, and all these guys are going to be watching as well. They put out some great content, and then hey, maybe one day we can all, as a big group, do a little do a show. It'd be awesome.
That'd be fun.
But yeah, it's gonna be a fun season. Probably frustrating for all of us because it's gonna be like closer than we all would like. But that's what football's all about. It's about fighting till the end. It's gonna be a great time, and I love doing these shows with you guys. I think every show we do should be as our panel here. It makes it more enjoyable. And again, right now the total for our P word jar, not the P word that some of you might be thinking, at $65.
Wow.
So, and we're doing this for another 3. We probably do one show a week, I think. So 3 more weeks of it, and then we're gonna discuss a potential $70.
Hey, $70.
Oh,
That
we're gonna
was the
discuss-
keyword, by the way.
boy.
We're gonna discuss a probable
Yeah.
prize, and then we're gonna have a giveaway and then it's obviously going to be really good because the first week is $70. So,
Oh my gosh.
but
Gonna have to work.
Jake and Brett are at 5 each, and me and Mike are at 2.
Wow.
So
Wow.
Gonna have to work hard in the off week here to
I didn't-
learn those other words.
I didn't think I said it again after the fourth time. So
you said that after
Yeah.
the third time too.
I said no. I knew after the third time I said it the fourth. I was trying to see if I could fool you guys, but I think I only had 4.
Well, you can go back and watch, but I know
I'll
you
go
had
back
5.
and watch. I'll double check.
Santos, I love that idea. We love having the other teams join us, so that'd be fantastic. If you're into doing that, certainly reach out to us, and we'll
That'd be
definitely
fun.
have you on. Yeah, we love it. I love getting the other perspective. I always look around for someone that can join us. So great stuff. All right, that's it. I gotta go. My wife is looking at me like, you said an hour and a half. You said 2 hours.
Here we
You're
are.
at 2.5 hours.
And you lost
What's
money
going
today,
on?
too.
And I
Yeah,
lost some money. Ooh,
brutal.
don't tell her that. Good thing she
Down
doesn't
bad.
watch the show. Let's leave you with this fantastic outro. Everyone, we'll see you soon.
Hey,
Bye
go
now.
Bills.
Go Bills. Good night. Thanks, everyone.
Bills Mafia, circling a wagon, you feel me? Huh. Nickel City Mafia, let's go! Josh Allen, quarterback supreme, leading the Bills to the top of the league. Weapons by his side, and that defense hella mean. Buffalo's got a team that must be seen. I said Buffalo's got a team that must be seen. Yes. Come on. J17 leading the charge. Buffalo Bills on the rise. Passing game on point. Ain't no mirage. Happening right in your eyes. Ain't no surprise. Buffalo stacking the QB. Stephon Diggs holding in the pass. Group cars didn't have to go deep. We're circling wagons. Just wait and see. From Wyoming to the NFL, Josh Allen's got the skills. Air raid, deep ball, touchdowns for real. Leading the Bills to playoff drills. Real time, this ain't no drill. Cold game, we're giving them chills. Check the score, now you know the deal. Nickel City Mafia.